Yes, I told you I have the perfect ointment for you. Hey there.
Hey there.
Nice to see you. What's going on?
Not a whole lot.
Aha. Yeah. Aha.
What? Okay.
Told ya.
Wow.
Say what I tell you.
Never anything going on. Loser.
Did you watch any of the Oakland A's game last night, Terry?
No,
A must-win game for the A's. They had a lead early.
Uh-huh.
But Detroit, that's got a little bit of momentum going right now.
Yeah?
Just passed them before they even knew what happened as far as the middle innings, and certainly held on. In the ninth inning, the Oakland A's had the bases loaded, a chance to win the ball game right there, but not happening. Not that the series is completely over, but not looking good for Oakland, that's for sure.
Not good.
Obviously, they know what they have to do. They have to take 2 of 3 in Detroit and the Motor City.
Okay.
Motor in.
Oh, jeez. And we'll see if that's possible. It's a pretty tough task.
Yeah.
Looking like it's going to be the Mets in Detroit, Terry.
Wow.
Even though the Mets haven't played Game 1 in the National League Championship Series, it looks like it's going to be the Mets in Detroit.
Oh, okay.
Because the Cardinals ain't beating the Mets. That's for sure.
Yeah, with a guy named Pooh Hole. What a cool name. I wish that was my name.
Perfect name for Coming Out Day, which was yesterday.
Right.
What if we took advantage of that?
I carry a big stick.
Yes. Would you like to be Mrs. Pooh Hole? Pool hole, yes.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, I have, since we put the Valerie
Oh, yeah.
Men with Game ad in Montreal, I can tell you this. Just late yesterday, I listened to some of the voicemails being left.
Right.
Oh, these Montreal cats are wild.
Are they?
Oh, they're crazy.
Do we get a call back any today?
I don't know if we'll have time to listen to any today, and definitely probably not tomorrow with Dog Food Roulette schedule, Terry.
Right.
Big day.
But at some point, you're going to be hearing some ridiculous Valerie Men with Game little voicemails, Terry. If I can get to 1 or 2 today, maybe I will.
Okay.
But there's
Just
a lot
tease
to
us
do.
a little bit.
A lot to do, obviously, today. Starting with.
That's
Oh,
right.
geez.
Get it started with me, and I'm telling you, good morning is breaking news of the Corey Kyle who had a freak accident with this goddamn truck.
Oh, jeez, easy now. Now, John's referring to the plane crash that had everyone thinking, oh my gosh, it's happening again in New York City yesterday.
Right.
And as he points out, Corey Kyle, who's better known as Corey Lytle, pitcher for the New York Yankees, was on that plane, Terry. He was the pilot.
the pilot, yeah.
A guy who just got his pilot's license 8 months ago.
Right.
I don't know how it's still pretty simple to get a pilot's license and fly over all over New York City like that.
Looks like it
I
is.
don't understand how the fact that he can get a pilot's license
Wow, I wish I
and
would've
be
said that.
fresh out of February 2006 and flying, well, what I guess we can call an aircraft. I mean, it's still a small chopper. It's an aircraft. It's something that's motorized.
It's a porta potty with wings, Terry.
Over 1,500 feet. I mean, what the hell is the FAA thinking, giving somebody that's new to that? I've got audio, T-Man.
Oh, goody.
Audio, Terry.
Wow.
It's John with deep editorial comments this morning on the state of the world and the FAA, for that matter, Terry, and their lax.
You know what my opinion of the FAA is?
I'm dying to know, John.
No, I'm scared to know.
You really don't want me to say it because it's not too clean.
Right. I imagine it wouldn't be.
So in
Yes.
other words,
If you would never are, why should any statements you make?
FAA stand for Fly in Aircraft Aviation.
Yes. All right.
Well, I'm trying to keep it clean, T-Man.
I'm glad we did. Yes.
There's no audio of John on the plane.
Oh, well, I got Hey, you know what, Hot Shots, guys?
Touch.
Anytime you fly a goddamn big-ass burrito into a building, you'll think about
burritos.
that, you fat effing mother effer.
Okay.
I wouldn't waste a burrito like that by throwing it in
Okay,
a building.
I've got audio, T-Man.
All right, let's hear the audio. Yes, let's hear the audio. Go ahead.
Oh,
All right, here we
audio
go.
this
Yes,
early in the
dying to hear
morning.
audio.
And now, live from the Studio B, well, outside of the T-Man's.
It's quite the setup. Let's hear the audio.
No, I'm looking at my notes right now.
Right, takes notes, Terry.
Looking at his
This
nose.
morning is Thursday, October 12th. We're spicing it up, unfortunately.
Oh, I can't handle this anymore.
What is he rambling on
Did
about?
I give him the opportunity to play his audio?
Oh, so much
Could he
opportunity.
have played it for the past 20 seconds?
All he had to do was push play.
Push play! Oh, we're screaming at each other
Here we
now.
go.
We don't need the lead up.
Yesterday, Yankee pitcher Corey Little was killed in a
That's breaking news, Terry.
Oh.
A high-rise apartment building on the Upper East
Yes.
Side of Manhattan just a few days after the season ended for his Yankees. A very, very tough day around the world.
It's very impressive that John was able to hit record when he had crumbs all over his face watching this yesterday with nothing else to do in the day.
No kidding.
Big deal. All right, John, you got audio that everyone heard 24 hours ago.
Oh, you get CNN. Congratulations.
Or at least 18 hours ago. Yes, real hard to find audio.
Good job.
Obscure information
You have rabbit ears on your TV.
that John has provided for us. He has paid his cable bill, is all that he's
Wow.
basically enlightened us with.
Yeah, right. I mean, because without John, though, I wouldn't have gotten the news. I mean, come on.
Thursday,
Yes, it is.
Here he goes.
October 12th.
Thank you so much.
On his notes.
And I'm telling you, I've got more audio.
Oh.
T-Mac,
Well,
are
don't
you
tease us like this, John.
open?
All right, very good. Thank you, John. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Listener to the stars.
Riley's going to call him and have him be the expert tonight.
Oh, can't wait for that.
The fact that he hasn't been picked up by a major news network is still shocking to me, Terry.
Yeah, it is.
The fact that he has to sit alone, drunk in his little studio apartment on a day-to-day basis
Which is the room of his mom's, in his mom's.
is very, very difficult for me to try to understand, Terry. Because a talent like this, a talent as strong as he is, to be completely undiscovered at this point in time is beyond me. The hard work that he puts in, day after day, with the notes and the recordings. And yet, no major network has knocked on his door and demanded he sign a long-term contract. Startling.
I'm lucky you hired me because I'm just one job away from that.
That's right. Stephen was one bad interview away from being John. Yeah. But you had to...
Steven.
John, thank you for the call, I said. Did you hear me?
And you know what, T-Mac?
Oh.
Don't you ever listen to me.
You know what? I listen to him way
I
more
want
than
my
I should. That's the
conversation
problem.
True.
I'm not. I am.
I'm the
not
only
done
one in
with
this world who
my
listens to you.
conversation
And that includes your
with this
family.
morning.
And
Would you shut the F up, T?
of course I will. Yes, go
I'm
ahead.
not done with the conversation because you know what? We have a tragic situation in New York.
Right.
And I've got major audio on that.
Well, you enjoy playing that all through your day.
Right.
All right?
It'll sound great
Yes.
coming out of your stereo.
Now he has someone to keep him company all through the day. His major audio will be much needed, I'm sure.
The T-Man Show.
Go out and look for a job. The word today is job. J-O-B.
It's Tara Reid's plastic surgery nightmare. For the first time, the notorious party girl is bearing her soul about a botched breast enhancement surgery and liposuction gone wrong.
Wow.
Her painful
I like it when the bot surgeries go right, Terry. That's really when things are all lined up as far as the stars and your good fortune, yes. Of course, bots means, why is everyone so redundant these days, Terry? It just irritates me.
I don't know.
about a botched breast enhancement surgery and
What about her botched career, Terry? What about her career gone wrong? Can we talk about that?
Well, we'd love to, but she just wants to ignore that right now.
She's blaming it on her boobies.
Right.
If the surgery would have went right,
God, she'd be all over
she'd
the
be
place.
huge.
liposuction gone wrong. Her painful plastic surgery secret first became public during a wardrobe malfunction on a red carpet in 2004. Tara tells all in this week's Us Weekly on Newsstands Friday.
Yeah, just doing whatever it takes to stay relevant. Please, I need a botched surgery so people will actually listen to what I'm saying.
Right. So I can be in the news.
Destroy my boobies so someone will pay attention to me. I wouldn't put it past her.
Oh, yeah.
Probably a doctor in L.A. who specializes in that.
Yes.
Dr. 90210.
Jumpstart your career by botching your cosmetic surgery.
Yeah. Well, speaking of cosmetic surgery, Extreme Makeover is coming back on ABC on Friday, October 20th.
When did it go away? Couldn't compete with Dr. 90210?
I actually like Dr. 90210 better than Extreme Makeover
Yes,
just because it's more, I mean,
Especially when you're on a full stomach, Terry. There's no better way to spend an evening
it's just crazy.
than loading yourself up with pasta and then watching them suck the fat out of some woman's hips.
Yeah.
Sticking the big sucking
Wand
in
thing.
there.
Oh, big sucking wand.
and brutally getting it. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Sure, you've spent many an evening like that, Terry.
What are you talking about?
But I mean, at least the
the
doctors
big
are
one.
handsome and their wives are good looking and hot. And
I
want to
brutally get it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know? Well, you can understand where all the bruising comes from.
Well, yes, but
It's
they get it
violent.
they get almost a little too graphic on Dr. 90210.
It's good information for those who maybe are.
To see the realities
Sure.
of what's involved with some of these surgical procedures.
Absolutely.
To see them harpooning your back and slicing you open.
Yes. Love that. It's
Big time.
It
That's why I'm
is.
telling you, I love to watch on a full stomach.
Oh, yeah.
slice behind their ears and pull their face tight.
Yeah! Hey, put your finger here and pull hard.
Pretty much.
It's great TV. I don't know how Extreme Makeover believes they can compete
Yeah, I don't
with
either.
the doctor of 90210. All right, it's very exciting.
Yeah.
What else is going on?
Crazy stuff going on the set of Grey's Anatomy. Apparently, there was a fight that broke out between Patrick Dempsey and Isaiah Washington.
Everything's not peace and harmony
I guess not.
on the most successful show in the world.
Apparently not.
I don't know if you want to be taking on Mr. Dreamy.
Well,
McFlurry, whatever his name is.
McDreamy?
McDreamy.
well, Isaiah Washington did.
And who's Isaiah Washington?
He's the lone brother on the
Oh,
set.
jeez. Race Wars.
You have a lone sister and a
on
lone brother.
Grey's Anatomy. Yeah. What were they fighting over? What was the problem?
Well, apparently something had happened where they were standing around waiting to shoot a scene, and Isaiah Washington got irritated and started in on another one of their co-stars. and
Isaiah
then-
Washington's one of the doctors on
Yeah,
the big
he's
old...
the one who's doing Sandra Oh.
Oh, the hot Asian woman.
Yeah.
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 They don't get any hotter than her.
Yeah, you know.
I like to watch her in a full stomach, Terry, because, is she attractive?
Right?
Yes. I remember watching that movie. What was that movie? Sideways. Man,
Yeah.
it's tough to get through that.
Her ex-husband, didn't he get
And I'm
a...
sitting there in the theater going, please, get her off the screen. She's killing me. She is not a very extensively easy on the eyes, Terry, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Sandra. Oh, my goodness. They gave her a role on TV and movies?
It's about acting.
It is about
Hey,
acting.
I'm all for it being
Fine.
about acting, and I'm all for them giving terribly homely people roles in the Hollywood world. But just warn me ahead of time. Put a disclaimer up on the screen.
Rated U for ugly people.
Yes. Give me some kind of advance that somebody looking like Sandra Oh is about to walk their way onto the scene, so I don't have to, like, get all frightened when I actually see it without the warning. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Okay.
Anyway, back to the fight.
Are you going to argue with me on that she's a very attractive woman?
I think she's pretty.
Oh.
Yes. I mean, she's got
How
a
can you
nice
say she's
body.
pretty?
Well, but the thing is...
Who notices her body after you see that face?
I
That
think
face could stop a train, Terry.
Well-
That face could make a train take a road.
to each his own, you know?
The train will be like, yeah, I'm off the tracks. I'm going right for the dirt road. Please, get out of my face. Come on.
To some, she's very attractive.
Oh, yeah, who?
I don't know.
Name them.
Her ex-husband was that for a time.
She's become, well, in mainstream America, she fits right in. But when you're accustomed to seeing beautiful people come through your TV and out the movie screen there, it's a little bit startling to see Sandra Oh up there. That's all I'm saying. Same would apply if I just all of a sudden skipped onto the set, Terry. I'm not saying anything here. I'm just saying, please. I'm not applying for any movie parts.
Right.
All right?
Yeah.
Because I know who I am. A cross between the Elephant Man and Quasimodo, but only the good parts. And I don't even know if Sandra Oh got a lot of good parts.
Well, she's done well so far.
I'm happy for it.
obviously,
I'm-
not
hey.
being a pretty chick. And you're right. In Hollywood, it's all about
More power to her.
Right.
All I'm asking
there you
for
go.
is just a little warning. Sandra Oh's about to come out, ladies and gentlemen. Brace yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
Now you feel probably like you have to defend her because you're Asian yourself, and you've been accused of being a bad Asian. You must stick up for your Asian brethren.
I've actually seen her, and I think that she cleans up really well. And
Oh,
yes, there are times that
Cleans up
she's-
really well.
Well,
shaved and
when
puts
she
on a
gets
nice
all
shirt.
when she gets all dudded up,
shampoo
everybody
inside.
does. But I mean, yes, I think that there are times that she's unattractive. But everybody goes. I mean, it's
But she puts on a tuxedo and she looks great.
well,
is what I'm saying.
I've seen her at award shows, and
All
I've seen her
right.
just
Okay.
so.
Mhm.
I don't
fits her
necessarily,
role, doesn't
yeah,
it?
I don't necessarily think she's like dog ugly.
All right. That's quite the compliment.
So I don't know what you want.
Send her a card. I don't think your dog.
Okay.
I don't think it needs to have a disclaimer. Let's just
So
say
that's
Right.
who Nate Washington, what's his name?
Isaiah
Washington
Washington.
is
Doing.
that's who he's doing
On Grey's Anatomy.
On Grey's Anatomy,
Yes.
that's the storyline. You wonder why he wants to choke
Patrick Dempsey.
Patrick Dempsey off the air.
Well, that's actually not what happened. It's not. He wasn't frustrated because he has to do Sandra Oh. What happened was
That's what they're saying.
right.
Deep inside, that's where the real reason lies as to why he's so irate and filled with frustration on that television set, Terry.
I'd never get a bitch like that. Make me date her on the show.
Embarrass me in front of all my friends and family by putting me together with her in this script.
Not good. They don't really look right together.
Jeez.
All right?
You guys.
You don't think that has anything to do with it? You better think again. I'm telling you what's going on out there, Terry, and you're arguing with me. Go ahead now.
Apparently, back to this little fight they had. Dr. McDreamy, Mr. Dempsey, said something to Isaiah about, pick on somebody your own size after he was cussing out this other co-star.
And they were talking about their penis size?
No. They were just, because, again, they were waiting around and Isaiah
Who's
Washington.
bigger than who? How big is Isaiah Washington? Is he a
Isaiah
big guy?
Washington is much, I would say, bigger than Patrick
So when
Dempsey.
Patrick Dempsey was telling him to pick on someone his own size, he was asking him to leave him alone because he's such a little guy?
Well, that
doesn't seem like something a grown man would say.
Well,
pick on someone your own size.
Well, he did. He
Might have
said,
been kidding, though. I mean, it just kind of set him off.
So Isaiah did pick on somebody his own size and grabbed Patrick by the throat and shoved him backwards. And
But it
then-
was Patrick who said pick on someone your own
Yes.
size. All right.
Okay, and so then got choked out. Well, not choked out, but grabbed by the throat by Isaiah. And then,
Oh, Isaiah wasn't picking on Patrick when he said pick on someone your own size?
No, I told you he was cussing out another co-host on the show.
And that's when he
a
said...
dude by the name of T.R. Knight. He plays Dr. O'Malley.
That's very exciting.
I don't know who he is.
Yes, I'm sure he's really good looking. Anyway,
So
because everyone on that set is next to Sandro. So Patrick Dempsey said, pick on someone your own size. That's when Isaiah Washington turned to Patrick Dempsey, grabbed him by the throat, and choked the life out of him, and that's the end of that show.
No, and shoved him backwards, and then Isaiah Washington left the set. Later on, he came back to the set. Now, of course, he's claiming everything's
Of course
fine.
he did. Got to pick up a paycheck.
Yeah. Everything's good. He claims he didn't get physical with him.
So he's downplaying it.
Of course.
Yeah. But the
And of
day's work, the day's production was put on hold because of this altercation.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And then it was picked up later on the day after it, a couple hours after.
All right.
Now, of course, the National Enquirer is reporting that there's some jealousy with Isaiah Washington because Patrick Dempsey, Mr.
You
McDreamy,
think?
yada yada
And it all
yada.
stems from Isaiah Washington not wanting to be seen in front of all the world having relations with Sandro. I would be exactly the same way. Filled with embarrassment and wanting to punch whoever said the first word that could be just taken a little bit offbeat.
Yeah. Grabbing people by the throat.
That's right. Very romantic.
Oh, is it?
Yes. All right, what else? What
So
else?
we'll see what happens.
So it sounds like everything will work out fine.
Yeah, of course.
People on CSI getting along great.
Oh, yeah. They are, actually.
Okay.
Guess what? You can now pre-order your Screech sex tape. Yoo-hoo! I know you're excited.
Who was Screech choking on that set?
A couple of ladies, right? And good news, Katie Holmes has her wedding dress.
Okay.
Yay! You're not excited by these two things. Okay. I'm over here getting all excited over nothing. Oh, how about this?
Oh, jeez.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead,
Is
yes.
this John.
I can't talk to Schwager because his phone line is too... it's not really usable. Go ahead.
Okay. Apparently, Jessica Alba did a interview with Elle magazine.
Right.
During the conversation, they brought up church, and she claims that she had to leave church because, quote, older men would hit on her and hit on me, and my youth pastor said it was because I was wearing provocative clothing.
I've had the same problem, Terry. I definitely can relate with that.
Apparently,
And,
she's just too
it's-
hot for church.
Yes.
Jeez.
I imagine Sandra had similar problems. I can say certainly myself, Terry, I had an issue like that, and you need to move to a different county.
Jeez.
All right, so we got a lot of Hollywood news out of the way there.
We have.
Oh, wonderful.
You didn't get as excited about my news.
Good morning.
Take us to break, John. Take
Shut
us
up,
to break.
Harry, I'm talking.
Take us to break.
You already... Oh, take us a break? All right. Yeah, It's the Wild 94 now paying some bills in about 20 minutes. I will be back right after these words after we pay our bills. And we're going to pay your listener bills right after this break here on The T-Man Show.
The T-Man Show.
I'm going to study, and I French kiss. So everybody does that. Yeah, but Daddy says I'm the best daddy.
Madonna's family is reportedly a party of 5. Oh. Word is the Queen of Pop has adopted a 13-month-old boy named David in the poverty-stricken African nation of Malawi.
Oh,
the boy's father said the child's mother died a month after he was born, and he's happy his son will grow up in wealth.
Well, yes.
Good.
Let me see. What would I rather have? A life of nothing but poverty, or having to deal with Madonna's obnoxious antics day after day for the rest of my life? I'm going poverty. I'm not looking back to it.
Wow.
Yes.
Jeez.
Madonna thinks she's doing this boy a favor?
She does.
Think again! Please.
Hey, Mom, why are you hanging on a cross during your show? I don't really get that.
Why are you hanging on a cross there in the kitchen? Nobody cares anymore, Mom. Can you get off that thing?
Why are you still touring, actually? It's another question I have.
Mom, do you realize it's over for you? Have you gotten that word? Have you gotten that? There's a million faxes sitting on the fax machine telling you just that. Can you move on with your life? What else is going on in this world besides Madonna doing everyone a favor?
Well, did you know that the death rate for male breast cancer is double the death rate of testicular and prostate cancer combined?
Say
for
again,
you men.
Yes, for us men.
For you men.
Right.
The death rate.
Don't exclude yourself there, Terry.
Right.
Right.
The death rate for male breast cancer is double the death rate of testicular and prostate cancer.
So you're saying we're all focused on our balls, we're all focused on our prostates,
right?
At all times.
Yes.
We need to realize that we need to take some of the focus off our balls and our prostate, because the likelihood is we're going to die from a lump in our breast.
Correct.
A lot quicker than a little ball situation may develop. That's what you're telling us.
Yes.
We have this misguided sense of worry as to always, examining ourselves in the shower, feeling the ball, feeling it's okay, and then feeling it again. Then our women coming in and saying, "What are you doing in there so long?" So give me a minute.
Is that how it goes?
Let me ask you this. Is the likelihood of you getting breast cancer as a man higher if you have those quote-unquote man boobs? If you have moobs, Terry, is the likelihood of getting breast cancer higher than it would be for a guy who's thin and maybe doesn't have any trace of man boobs?
I don't know. It doesn't give me that kind of stat from the ACS.
Wow.
I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say no,
I'm
because it
say
doesn't
no.
matter what size women's breasts are.
Well, I would think, it does matter what size women's breasts are. The bigger women's breasts are, the more likely they are to get breast cancer.
That's not true.
I think you're wrong.
I know that I'm right.
I think it just stands to reason that the more flesh you have,
that has nothing to do with it.
The more mass there is, the more likely there is to have something go wrong with it.
You can go ahead and believe. See, that's the reason you guys die.
It's basic science.
That's the reason you men die, is because because you have that kind of thought.
I'm giving you basic laws of physics and science, and you're disputing them.
If you have no boobs, the cancer can't go anywhere.
That's not.
Where's the cancer going to go if you have nothing?
If you have a bigger lawn, the chances are you'll have more dandelions.
Oh, my God. What?
You pick it up and you blow on it.
That's right. If you have a bigger lawn, the chances of you having a weed in that lawn are greater, right or wrong?
Not if you take care of it.
Well, we're not talking about taking care of it. We're talking about just the likelihood of getting a weed. And I'm telling you, the bigger your lawn, the likelihood of you having a weed in that lawn goes up. So the bigger your boobs are, be you man or woman, the likelihood of you getting a lump in that breast goes up.
That's so wrong.
It's probably not true.
Wrong.
But I don't think it's true. But it makes sense to me for some reason.
No, the reason
not only
it
does it make sense, but it's right.
No, the reason it makes sense is because
so I must have huge balls if I have cancer, right?
Because you don't even want to
exactly.
I'm not saying that you can't get a lump on your testicle if you have small balls.
Small balls.
Well, your prostate must be huge, too.
Oh, yeah. It's genetics.
Gosh.
Listen, it's basic science. I'm not saying that you're guaranteed by any means to get breast cancer if you've got big boobies.
Not even basic.
But it's fun to try. Anyway.
So if you have small breasts, then why would you get, bigger ones?
Well, I mean, you're not going to get a lump on the plastic they put in. You're not going to get a lump on the implant.
You can still get breast cancer.
if you have-
I'm not saying. I'm just saying he's saying, why would you get breast augmentation? Because it would make the likelihood go up, and that's ridiculous. The likelihood doesn't go up if you get breast augmentation. It doesn't
that's ridiculous.
It artificially makes your boob get bigger. Yes, what you're saying is ridiculous.
You get more skin, though. It pushes it out, right?
You don't get more skin when you put an
not
implant in
more
there.
skin,
It
but
stretches the same skin.
Stretches it out.
You're talking nonsense.
Okay.
Seriously, does anyone not see this?
Yeah, it's an implant. You know
It's
that,
an
right?
implant, Stephen. You're not going to lump on the implant.
No, I
You
realize
don't double
that,
your
yes.
chances because you have bigger
Double your
boobs now
chances.
because you got an implant?
I understand that, yes. Thank you.
If nature somehow stroked you with the luck of big boobs, unfortunately, the drawback on that is that the likelihood of you getting a lump in that bigger breast is higher. Not maybe significantly higher, but it's higher. The bigger the law, the more likely the way.
That part makes sense to me.
All right? And that's just basic science. And I'm going to tell you that now for the 6th time until you guys start to get it. Man. Can't believe I have to talk about 3rd grade little material here.
3rd grade.
Anyway, I'm just talking about you men and breast cancer. And granted,
my
it is Breast
question-
Cancer Awareness Month.
My
too, by the
question
way.
was rather simply, and I basically answered it myself, if you have man boobs, is the likelihood of you getting a lump in that breast higher? And I would suggest that it probably is. The more real estate you have in that area, the likelihood for a lump in that area probably goes up.
Again, I disagree, but...
And you're drawing on all years of medical school on that there?
No, and you are?
I happen to be a lot more worldly than you are.
Oh, is that how it
That's
works?
the fact. So I don't have to go to medical school.
Right.
That's just the reality of it.
Okay.
All right? I guarantee you I'm right. Whether I went to medical school or I'm just talking out my ass about being worldly or not, the bottom line is I'm right. So, deal with it. And I'm also probably right, although I haven't seen a good set of man boobs in a while, and it's really been kind of unfortunate. You're right. That if you have a bigger set of male breasts, then you're more likely to get a lump in those breasts.
Just because they're bigger.
That's right, because you have more flesh in that area. Yes.
All right.
Those guys on BiggerCity.com are in trouble.
Uh-huh.
Wow. All right.
And whenever Breast Cancer Awareness Month is, I suggest
It's this month.
Oh, is it this
October,
month?
yes.
Is that why that stat came out this month?
Probably so.
Because they're trying to get men involved in the game
well,
here?
I think it's really important.
I
yes,
suggest
obviously.
that all men examine one another, yes. Like women do.
Well, they're
Don't
actually
women do that to one another?
Yes,
Don't
they
feel
do.
it
not
to each
to
other's
one
breasts?
another.
Of
They
course.
can do it to themselves
Right
very
before the pillow
easily.
fight.
Well, that self-examination in your shower, even if your girlfriend or wife looks at you a little peculiarly, is much needed. You have to lather your hand up with soap. I don't know how they tell you to do it. I know that's what they ask you to do with your balls. But
I get nervous every time.
No,
feel
so-
up your man boobs, feel up your moobs, and see if there's a lump in there. The reason probably men are dying from breast cancer is because they won't allow themselves to acknowledge that they have it.
Yeah, they don't
Right,
check.
You're not going to go to
that's
the
true.
doctor and say, I feel a lump in my
Right,
breast.
that's true. That's true. You're absolutely right. They say that men
I get a
never
mammogram
suspect
twice a month, actually.
that they have it until they are symptomatic, and then it can be too late.
Anna, good morning. Anna, you there? Hello, Anna. Anna? Are our phones going to work this morning or not?
Oh, she's...
We're able to hear John, unfortunately,
Yeah.
every time.
Oh, that's right. Anna? Anna was a clinical lady, Terry, who was going to tell me that I was right.
There you go. All right,
Yes.
then.
But
You
she
are
wasn't
more
there.
worldly.
Yes.
Anyway, they say that as soon
What
as...
was that, Stephen?
Well, I found something that says the bigger a woman is, like weight-wise, your chances are higher. But it doesn't necessarily indicate that it's the breast
Right,
size.
you're still trying to fight it, aren't you?
Well, I mean, fat women can have small breasts, right?
That's not good.
That is true,
That's
though.
always a treat.
Oh, boy.
Fat woman, small breasts.
Man.
What a lovely package I got myself all squared off with here.
If I'm going to
Nice.
sacrifice the 300-pound body, I better get triple D's out of it.
There's no more blind dates for me.
God.
Yes, Stephen.
Breast size is not necessarily a good indicator of the density of the breast, except for the women who are extremely lean.
Oh, geez.
Thin women who have larger breasts may have more ductal tissue than very thin women who have smaller breasts, and hence a higher risk of breast cancer.
Wow.
Thank you so much. I won't tell you I told you so, but we'll just move on and leave
They
it
say,
there.
but just for you guys out there, as soon as you see any potential signs like lumps, swelling, or redness, or you even have pain in your chest or under your arm, you're supposed to get it checked out. So don't be afraid to go into your doctor and say,
tell them about the lump in your moob.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
And the doctor will say, well, Mr. Johnson, you were just asking for trouble. You should have gotten those damn big moobs reduced years ago. I mean, how'd you deal with the pain on your back? I knew this was going to be embarrassing. Forget it. I'll just die on my own.
Wow.
The male sports bra.
The male sports bra.
You have them in assorted colors, Stephen?
I do, yeah.
Yes.
They look good.
Maybe that's why Stephen's putting up the big fight here, because he knows there's a lot of real estate that he has to examine himself with there, and he's got a set of moves himself, perhaps.
I don't think so.
You don't?
He's checking himself out, I can totally tell.
A self-examination is needed. If you want to do one right now, it'd be probably encouraging to the male listeners of the audience to hear someone do it before they get involved, Stephen. Go ahead.
I'm checking.
I
have to take my shirt off.
Well, it's only a 4-hour show, so very nice of you to enlighten the men out there, Terry.
I was actually really surprised by that little stat. I was, but it makes totally makes sense though. Anyway.
Yes.
Just want you to be aware. Also, since we're on the whole breast thing right about now, according to this little stat here, 85% of men say fake breasts are a major turnoff.
Right. As opposed to what?
Well,
As opposed to, well, here's the reason that is, Terry, is because men have forgotten what it looks like for a woman to have a flat chest, because women are either in one of two categories these days. Either big boobs naturally or fake boobs artificially.
Right.
And when given the option, you're going to go big boobs naturally. Why not? Why should you go with a woman who's had augmentation when you can have her be big because of what nature provided her?
Right.
Very few women, if any, out there are flat-chested anymore these days. It's a beautiful development in this world of ours. So that's why men now, forgetting what it was like to be squared off with a woman who had just a non-existent chest, is going to say, yeah, I don't prefer fake breasts. That's why that response came in so high.
Okay.
Yes.
So flat-chested women are lucky because they can get big breasts without the breast cancer. Woohoo!
Ow! All right, then.
Yes.
But saline will leak into their body, and then it all goes to crap.
You drawing on your years of medical school for this, Stephen?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't pretend to be worldly, Stephen. You're not. Anyway.
Just gets absorbed through the body, I believe, Stephen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're thinking
no damage?
Oh, Jesus. You're thinking that statistic is high, 85%.
Yeah, I actually do.
And I'm telling you why that is. I mean, if I told you that the man was thinking, okay, I could have big boobs that are real or big boobs that are fake, what do you think men are going to say?
Well, I agree with you on that. Then,
I'm shocked that 50% of men would rather have big boobs that are fake. Bring on the fakies. They last longer. Big boobs that are real are a big nightmare by age 30 for a woman. So I'll take the big fake ones. Those men might be the ones that are right.
All right.
Stephen, big boobs that are real or big boobs that are fake?
I've never been a big fan of plastic surgery, so I guess I would go real.
Well, the flat-chested women, as you know, an endangered species, not really around this planet anymore. Kind of like the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Hard to find on your local street corner. You know what I'm saying?
Usually, yeah.
Okay.
Depends on what part of the country you're in.
All right.
Oh, jeez.
There you go. There's your answer to that. Now we can move on from there.
Oh,
What's next?
All right.
More breast talk?
Well, no, actually, I'll move off. Whoa. I'll move off the breast talk.
Yes.
A 31-year-old woman in Davenport, Iowa, apparently offered up her 4-year-old son as collateral for a wedding dress. Yeah. She bought a wedding dress from a street vendor. She was paying for it in installments, and she only owed a mere...
Here's my kid's arm. Here's my kid's leg.
Well, she owed just $200 on it, and didn't have the money, so there she goes. Offered her 4-year-old son for it.
And the dressmaker took it. Said, yeah, I needed one. Now I got a match set.
Perfect.
Well, the funny thing is, well, not funny, but the interesting thing is that the son wasn't even, she didn't even have custody of her son.
See, this is what happens when you don't send in your bills to T-Man, ladies and gentlemen. You are forced to give up your kids as collateral for your material items.
There you go.
But fortunately, we have a hopper full of bills over here, Terry. Mm-hmm. Of which this morning's lucky on-the-clock individual. Oh, look at this. What an interesting name. Shannon Fondue. Oh. From a long line of fondues, Terry.
Oh, yeah.
Shannon Fondue. You have a $643.66. What is this? This is I have her Fieldstone Mortgage Company monthly coupon in my hand, Terry.
Oh, nice.
She would like us to make a payment on her home.
Okay.
In the amount of $643.66. Shannon, stop your self-examination on your own breast right now and pick up the phone and call 1-866-663-T-MAN in 30 minutes or less. And I will make this payment for you to Fieldstone Mortgage Company in Columbia, Maryland. MD would be Maryland, yes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. For $643.66.
Very good.
Yes.
You can unpack your boxes. They're not going to repo it.
That would be exciting for her, I'm sure. So you have till 7:35, Ms. Fondue.
Ooh.
Sounds like a good idea for later today.
I
though,
know. Cheese or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Sounds like
What is a fondue exactly?
Oh, you dip the
melted stuff,
Yeah,
cheese or
melted
chocolate or
stuff.
whatever.
Yeah,
You
cheese,
put them on little
chocolate.
sticks
Yep.
in there, and
Any desserty type
Yeah, tons of
item
desserty type
that's-
stuff.
Let me finish. That's melted?
No, it's not desserty. Cheese is like the main thing.
Or oil. You could put oil.
Yeah,
in there.
or oil or water, and you cook the food in there. It's great.
Yeah.
The melting pot's unbelievable.
This is where I'll take
unbelievable.
Steven's word for it. Any discussion on food,
Yeah.
I will actually give him the benefit of the doubt.
You start with the broth and the meat. You go to the cheese and the bread. Then you go to the
Yes.
chocolate and the marshmallow.
Yes, keep going. Keep going.
Sounds like the moves aren't going anywhere.
Why is everything here completely pointless?
Hey, Valerie, it's Kyle calling you from Craigslist. Johnny Irish, I emailed you. Just wondering about meeting you. Thinking it'd be great to meet. Maybe go for a chocolate milkshake. See a movie. Hold hands by the park. Feed the ducks. And maybe have anal sex.
Wow, everything sounded so sweet. The chocolate milkshake.
Well, that was your first clue.
You can't deny that's not quite the afternoon, Terry. The man is
Gosh.
prepared there, and in at least his mind, that is a whirlwind of afternoon fun.
Oh, yeah, holding hands, feeding ducks.
Yes.
Sure.
That sounds awesome.
Don't pretend like you've forgotten about the chocolate milkshake, Terry.
Oh, yeah.
Unless your body has already absorbed it already in some way, shape, or form. Yes, I told you that these dudes calling in, leaving voicemails for Valerie from Montreal are just off the freaking charts, Terry.
Yeah,
All right,
definitely.
they're off the chain with how wild again. And this is just a small, mild example. I got a lot more serious examples. I don't know if I'm going to get to them today.
Right.
I don't know if I'm going to get to them tomorrow. But we will get to them, trust me.
I mean, good for him for trying. You know, for the 100 that say no, there's one that says yes.
I mean, he just kind of throws it in there like it's no big deal. It's not like he emphasizes it or anything.
If there really was a Valerie, tell me she's not calling this guy back.
I'm like, wow, he was so smooth. Just, you know, just kind of went right over it like no big deal.
Talk about worldly. Yes.
Sure.
She had me at feed the
Oh,
ducks.
yeah, he did.
Apparently, we have Shannon Fondue, who believes that, Pasty believes this is Shannon Fondue on the line, waiting to have her bill paid, Terry. But before we get to her, I got a couple of emails I need to read myself. What do you have as far as a quick story there? What do you have?
Got a quick story out of New Mexico where 3 workers at a fast food restaurant were arrested after 2 police officers discovered that the hamburgers they ordered were sprinkled with marijuana.
Oh,
Yeah.
pretty gutsy.
Yeah, it is.
And they did that just for the cops?
Yes, they did.
Police are here. Where's the stash?
Right, exactly.
Talking about a Happy Meal.
Yeah.
1 double whopper, and it's for a cop. Okay, you know what to do.
The officers ate about half of their burgers before they discovered marijuana on the meat. And they used a field test to confirm the substance was pot. And then they went to the hospital for medical evaluation.
Right.
The Burger King, employees were arrested.
If you're going to mess with the police officers, I mean, if I'm a police officer and I could choose the way I'm going to be messed with by the fast food employees, this may be right up there at the top of the chart.
You'll probably take that over spit any day.
Yeah.
Okay. This make me feel kind of mellow.
Hearing the story, Hotshot Scott just went out and bought a cop's uniform.
Yeah, he did.
I'm here. Where's my pot burger?
Pot burgers.
It's a really good idea, actually. Where's
Pot
JD?
burgers and the Monopoly game? Can you do any better than that?
Oh, no way.
I don't think it gets any more big time than that.
Nope.
You think JD's outfit will fit me? Probably.
I don't think so.
Shannon, are you there?
I'm here.
What's up, baby?
I'm so happy.
Well, yes, you should be. I can imagine someone who's getting their mortgage paid for them would be a little bit on the happy side, wouldn't you, Terry?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Shannon, it says here that your mortgage monthly payment is $643.66. Is that right?
That's right.
What are we living in? Describe your luxurious home to us, please.
Well, it just caught on fire about 5 months ago.
All right, now, you'd think when we have a winner on the line, Terry, you'd think that I wouldn't have to hit the dump button like I just did because Shannon said a swear word.
Shout out to Laura Lincoln for calling me and waking me up.
You know, you'd think I'd be able to avoid a shout-out.
Okay.
Jeez.
When I have a winner on the line whose bill I technically, I guess by the rules, have to pay. But she's giving me the S word.
Yes.
And she's giving me shout-outs now. So I'm very tempted
Will you play Coolio?
to let the house burn, Terry.
Yeah, I hear you.
No, it's back up. It's
Oh,
back
that's
up.
very exciting. I was really concerned. Yes.
Good for you.
So you were sleeping this morning and your friend woke you up, is that right?
Yeah, my coworker.
Yes. And what do you do for a living?
I work at a hospital.
Yeah, what do you...
Valley Medical Center.
And how close are you and this coworker of yours that woke you up, knowing your number and where to reach you at this time of day?
Yeah.
We're divided by a cubicle wall.
Did she just roll over and wake you up, or did she have to call you to do so?
Tap, tap.
She called me.
She called you and said what?
Yeah. She said, Shannon, you need to call Cube. They called your name.
Why am I hearing sirens in the background?
Because I had to come outside because my cell phone doesn't work inside, and we don't have phone service in our building yet.
Yes. And what do you do in the hospital there? What's your responsibilities?
Medical billing.
Medical billing.
No phones at the hospital. That sounds pretty
Yeah,
bad.
that's...
I have an emergency. Send the pigeon.
She's at her apartment.
Oh, okay.
She's at her place, right?
Oh, I thought she was at work.
No, I would think they have.
Place, yeah.
I think they'd have a hard line or two at the hospital.
God, you'd hope, huh?
We're on 911. Ah, kid, couldn't get you.
And you expect us to pay all of your bill here, even though you accidentally said a swear word and all that. Now is that
I
what
hope
you're
you
hoping
will. I hope you will.
for? I don't know, Jerry.
Well, the hopper's right over there.
No, you sound like a nice enough lady. Do you have a boyfriend, or what's the deal with you?
I'm married.
You're married?
Yes.
That I didn't see coming, Terry. Back in the hopper she goes. How long you been married, Shannon?
5 years.
5 years.
Whoa.
And would you call them happy years?
Yeah.
And would your husband call them happy years?
Yeah.
He would. You didn't sound as enthusiastic with the yeah for the husband as you did for yourself. Do you have any kids?
2.
You have 2 kids.
Aw.
And a house that caught on fire. How'd your house catch on fire? Because of the meth lab? What happened there?
Electrical fire.
Oh, electrical fire, yes. That's what the insurance company was told, I'm sure.
Right.
Yes, when you put away all the Bunsen burners.
Yeah, when you have 7 heat lamps hanging in one room.
Yeah, I
It's hot
know,
in
it
there.
does. Jeez.
How did you have an electrical fire? What went wrong? Where was the short circuit? What happened?
There's an electrical room on the same floor as mine, and I guess it caught on fire.
Were you in the house at the time or no?
No, I wasn't.
Was anyone at the house at the time?
Nope.
No one was there.
No.
You came home to a burning house.
Oh.
Yeah.
Came down the street, smelled smoke, and said, oh, bad day for somebody. Oops, must be us.
Please don't be me. Please don't be me. Oh.
Yeah.
And was there anyone attending to your home when you came home and it was burning, or they just ignored it and you had to call the fire department yourself?
The fire department was here.
Oh, well, that's good. You have
Nothing
good
like-
neighbors then,
I'm
right?
like coming home from Target, Terry, and seeing the fire department in front of your house.
What a bad day.
Brought all kinds of picture frames to hang up in a house that has no walls.
Now, when someone's house burns to a cinder, do you get full reimbursement from the insurance company, or do you lose out in the whole transition there, or how does it all shake down?
No insurance.
I think it depends on your insurance company.
But your insurance company stepped up for you, or no?
Yeah.
They did.
Oh, good.
And you have a whole new house.
No, it didn't burn. My house didn't burn. Just the room.
Just a room burned, and they took care of that room for you.
Yeah.
Modeled one
You're in
whole
good
room.
hands.
Yeah.
And before this alleged fire began, it wasn't you looking around the house going, yeah, this is the room that needs remodeling.
Right.
Light her up.
No, the whole thing does.
Okay.
One room at a time. Okay, which one goes next?
How old are you, Shannon?
29.
29.
No MySpace. No MySpace.
No MySpace. All right,
Wow,
easy.
easy.
Fine. Well, since we're on the subject, why don't you have a MySpace? I mean, you're a married woman. You need to have some fun, right?
Yeah.
You need to have some
I do have
interaction.
fun.
You need to have some communication with men. Since you're not getting that from your husband after a 5-year marriage, you gotta be getting on MySpace, right? I mean, you're obviously tempted to get a MySpace account, right?
No.
You're not.
Got to keep the fire burning.
You have no interest whatsoever. You never will be a member of the MySpace community. You will never be in my extended network.
Damn.
Amazing how
Oh, MySpace.
everyone's picture I go and view, Terry, is in my extended network.
Oh, yes.
I'm waiting for them to one time say, this person is not in any network of yours.
Does your husband have one?
No.
MySpaceless couple.
Wow.
I'm sure he's got one.
Is that a
I'm sure he
deal?
does, too.
Yeah, he's got
But
one.
that's what she thinks.
Right.
Is that a deal that you two have with one another, that neither of you two, because you're so happily married, will ever have MySpace accounts? Is that the agreement, or what?
No.
You never had a conversation like that?
No, I don't have a lot of time to get on MySpace.
You
I don't think I would. I don't want to look at little kids.
Wow.
Too old for that. I'm too old. I'm 29.
No, I can tell you, try it. But
What was my stat yesterday? That there's more.
there's more than 50% of the people on
Yeah.
MySpace are 35 years of age or older, which I
right.
don't believe at all, despite what you read. But
So no little kids.
But some.
Shannon Fondue,
Yes.
what was your maiden name that you
Fondue.
were so
Kramer.
excited to accept the last name of Fondue? What was your maiden name?
Kramer.
Kramer. She went from Shannon Kramer to Shannon Fondue. So many of these ladies, Terry, so many of them lose a lot in the marriage exchange as far as the names they get from the names they gave up. Wouldn't you rather be Shannon Kramer than Shannon Fondue?
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter to you because you're in love.
Aw.
No, not that, T-Man. It just doesn't matter.
Just pay my bill, T-Man.
Shannon, your bill is being paid.
Nice.
Hey, thank you.
Expect a little more excitement than that out of her.
Yeah.
I'm outside, frozen.
You're outside frozen.
Yeah.
Yes.
You haven't had heat for a long time with the
That's what
with
happens.
the open wall.
What happens
I ran outside, one eye open, no shoes on.
This is what happens when a fondue hits the cold air, Terry. Freezes up. Hang on, Shannon.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You're a winner. We pay your bill.
Burn some more rooms down.
That's right.
Good luck will come your
Burn,
way.
baby.
T-Man Show.
You want to get her in the sack. I mean, just tell her you love her. That's how I was duped.
A deadly plane crash takes the life of a Yankees pitcher and stirs up memories of 9/11. Corey Lidle's plane slammed into a Manhattan high-rise building and burst into flames. It happened just before noon and tonight.
And now they're saying that the person that was in the plane with Corey Lytle, Terry, the Yankee pitcher, was his flight instructor. Which would give you some feeling like this could have been avoided if the instructor would have done something. I don't know. I'm never going to be up in some plane with some flight instructor because I have no interest like that.
Right.
But, I mean, that was probably quite the conversation before they slammed into the building with the instructor, right?
Right.
Higher, higher! You suck at this! What am I doing in here with you? Haven't I taught you anything?
Bam. I hate you.
Nice.
Don't the instructors usually have their own controls?
Yeah, they
or
usually
they
do,
were
but
in-
depending upon what kind of plane it is.
They were in the
Not all of
plane. They were in the
not
plane
all.
that Corey Lytle had just bought a few months
he
earlier.
probably didn't have a second.
He bought his own plane because he needed to fly,
Yes.
because everyone needs a thrill in life.
Sure.
I don't understand it. I don't feel the need. I don't care how much disposable cash I ever get, Terry. I'll never feel the need to buy any planes. Whether it be bungee jumping where it don't belong, bungee jumping, or even mountain biking down some furious hill.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
Right.
I mean, these are accidents, obviously, but some accidents can just be avoided, you know? Please.
Mm-hmm.
And it had to be an accident because no Yankee pitcher has been able to intentionally hit a target all year long. So, I'm just feeling bad for... Was anyone hurt in the building? Luckily, this happened in the middle of the day, so probably most people who had condos in that building weren't even home.
Right.
Pays to have a job, kids.
Yeah, it does.
Or at least be out of the house.
Man, that's really the great silver lining stroke of luck in this whole thing is that no one was hurt in the building. That's almost, the way it slammed into the building, that's almost such a far-fetched thing to imagine. That it seems as though the only people that unfortunately passed away in this situation were Corey Lytle and his flight instructor.
Is there a third person, I think, too, maybe?
They're saying only now there was, I mean, at times, yesterday they said 4 people died, and now they're back to 2, and that's Corey Lytle and his flight instructor. The flight instructor couldn't do anything?
Doesn't sound like it.
Everyone needs to be flying? Everyone needs to be getting their ass in a plane that can? Is that what
Apparently
it's come
so,
to? Flying
because-
all over Manhattan?
Yeah, because that's the thing.
It's important.
It is. You
It's
hear
important
about it
why?
all the time for whatever reason. I mean,
There are
people.
professional pilots out there that I've heard about, Terry.
There are, yes.
And
they have to learn.
they're pretty good at their craft.
I understand.
Yeah, they have to learn, but they don't go flying all over Manhattan in their 80th hour of flying.
Right.
Yeah, go like to the desert or something.
Yes, go around the
Less
Sears
targets.
parking lot when it's closed on a Sunday. Like I learned how to ride my little tricycle, Terry.
You just set up the cones in the parking lot.
Yes. My dad, in trying to promote some safety, took me to the Sears parking lot on a Sunday when it was closed.
No, I understand.
There was no way I could harm anything but a light pole.
Right.
In your head.
But he's zooming all over Manhattan.
No, I know.
Crazy.
I
Seems
know.
odd they're letting planes do that.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
didn't even fill out a flight plan.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
You would think
yeah.
the way Homeland Security is and all the hoops that you go through in an airport,
Right.
that you wouldn't be able to just get in a plane and fly all through Manhattan
Yeah, I
Especially
gotta
a
without
small
filling out a
craft.
flight plan.
Right.
throw a fit when I got a Percocet bottle with someone else's name on it. But fly a plane wherever you like, Chief. Harm am I going to do?
I got a little stash of coke in my ass crack, Terry, and they get all worked up.
Yeah, whoa, big deal. So I won't sleep for 2 days. It's my sleep. Who cares?
I'm not harming anyone. It's not like yeah.
But unfortunately, this was a real sad situation because Corey Lytle was a 34-year-old man with a small child, Terry.
Yes, I know.
Young wife.
Yep, young wife.
But as much as I feel bad, I don't feel overly sad because, I mean, he decided to do this on his own free will, Terry.
Yes, I know.
And I don't understand it. I don't understand what the need for the thrills are. You can't get enough thrills out of life?
Guess
You're not
not.
getting enough thrills from your wives out there, man? I don't need to go to the moon.
It's on the checklist, and so he's able to go through his checklist, and that was one of the items.
Unbelievable.
So there you go.
Couldn't fly over a cornfield.
I guess not.
Fortunately, he didn't injure anyone, as I said, in that condo,
Right.
but it very easily could have been a lot more tragic than it was.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't nearly as big as obviously the Twin Tower situation, but there was a pretty big hole in the side of
I
side of
know,
that
so-
condo.
Yes.
I've taken those little float planes, like up, to the islands or whatever, and there's only one pilot, and I'm thinking, if he has a heart attack, I'm the pilot.
That's
Not
right.
good.
Better observe what
scary,
he's
man.
But
doing.
that's not by choice.
Right.
I mean, there was one person out there, at least one person that was watching the news yesterday that looked at that building and knew that that was their apartment and was like, not good.
Right.
But luckily, I came to work today.
There's a plane in my house.
Right.
Yeah.
And the insurance company, well, we don't cover planes and houses, so you're on your own there, kids.
Hope I made the bed.
Oh, man.
All right, let me get to a couple of emails here that have been sent in. That these are emails that are not your typical email of the day, Terry.
Okay.
These are reaction emails to previous shows.
Oh, all right.
I'll get to as many as I can.
Reaction emails of the day.
Oh, jeez. Dear T-Man, oh, exalted one.
Exalted?
Wow. This is, well, that's one of the options. She didn't come up
is
on.
it?
She didn't come up with that on her own.
Oh.
I wish she did. This is in response to yesterday's program, Terry. Remember we talked about the whole strip clubs thing?
Right.
Hey, everyone. Just wanted to interject my professional opinion. I am a stripper, and we, the strippers, don't want girls who aren't working in the club to come in the club.
Wow.
As you said, T-Man, not only do they not spend much money, neither do their guys when they are there. We prefer single guys, preferably good-looking,
Of course.
with a lot of money.
Yeah.
Groups are less desirable, as are women. And it does change the whole dynamic of the room, as you said, when guys bring their girlfriends. All of a sudden, we are aware that we're supposed to behave differently so as to reinforce the guy's story, quote unquote. We do all know what the stories are, and it's annoying. So the girl should stay at home, and the guy should come to our strip clubs and never tell their girlfriends.
Wow.
And then the party can continue.
Ow! So strippers do care if you're better looking than other ones?
Really?
That's good to know.
But imagine they would.
So when I get the old wash and cut from Hair Masters?
Then you're ready to go to the strip club?
Yes. Look at me, ladies.
Yeah, just got the $7 dilly, and here I am.
Oh, I'm ready to party.
And they even gave me a lollipop that I'm not using.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay.
Whoa!
All right, now this one's a piece of hate mail, if you will, Terry.
Oh.
That is also in response to something that went on yesterday's show. I believe this was yesterday's program that she's responding to. Dear T-Man.
Good, not Dear Hotshot. If it's hate mail.
On this morning's program, a girl named Lisa called, asking your advice on ways to deal with her boyfriend's impotence. You shallowly and typically inferred that it must be because she's not attractive enough to get him aroused that is causing the problem. In doing this, I'm sure you not only damaged her self-esteem, but you offered her not an ounce of sound and constructive advice to help her work through a very real and common problem.
Wow.
Not even an ounce?
Not an ounce.
Whoa.
As a psychologist, I can tell you that male impotency problems are far more damaging to the female mind than it is to the man who is experiencing it physically. Do you care that you likely reinforced her worst fears? Would you further fail to care that the self-doubt she must be battling at this time can cause real mental harm? It is your duty, as a man with influence, to refrain from all the giggling you do at times like these, which obviously stems from some deep-rooted psychological problems of your own, and take these calls more seriously.
Oh.
Offer suggestions to help the problem instead of creating new ones. Sign, Gail.
Oh, that sounds like something a Gail would write.
Oh, Gail!
Gail.
Gail believes she's a psychologist out there, and maybe she is, Terry. It'd be nice to know we have psychologists listening to the program.
Yeah.
But if she listened carefully, maybe, yes, not only am I going to admit, I do certainly acknowledge that I suggested that perhaps it's because of a lack of look that she may be offering her boyfriend as to where the problem lies. I feel it's my responsibility, Terry, to go over all the bases.
Sure.
Did I not offer the number one remedy to impotence problems these days? Did I not suggest she crush a Viagra in his oatmeal?
You did.
Yes. Meckia's oatmeal was my suggestion. Do you remember that, Gail?
I think it was applesauce.
Was it
I
applesauce?
thought it was
No,
applesauce.
I wouldn't forget that.
You know, it really doesn't matter.
Well, we're trying to be accurate here for Gail. She has problems with it.
Gail obviously has a lot of problems. You know what Gail's problem really is?
What is that?
She went to all those years of medical school.
All right.
I'm sure it was tons. And she has to turn on the radio hearing 20-year-olds call me with their problems.
Yeah.
Gail has to turn on the radio and hear 20-year-old girls ask the T-Man free of charge, as opposed to going to her for $100 an hour, and ask me about remedies for their boyfriends flopping dicks. And that's burning her up inside. Her appointment book is empty.
Oh, not good.
And just because your waiting room is vacant, don't take it out on me, Gail. Just because the magazines in your waiting room haven't been touched for months, don't get mad at me, Gail. Don't get mad at me, because these people aren't asking to have a bill for $100 an hour to get lousy advice from you when they can get wonderful advice from me, Terry. Because I guarantee you, Lisa out there is probably this morning having the greatest butt sex of her life.
Wow.
Oh,
Really?
Wow.
Well, you never know.
True.
But
Floppy dick to butt sex.
that's right.
Whoa.
These are the miracles that I work.
It's a big day.
And these are the miracles that bother Gail, that she's not asked to work for others. After all the time she's put in to become such a high and mighty psychologist, it burns her up inside to turn on the radio and hear me answering these problems for the people of America.
Yeah.
What kind of constructive advice should I offer, Terry? Did I not give her that advice?
You gave her advice, yes?
What other remedies are there for the penis that doesn't get engorged with blood? It has no life. What else should I be offering? What did I miss? Slam a window down on his pecker. Maybe I'll perk it back up.
Oh, boy.
See if there's any feeling left in it.
What did I miss? What did I miss, Gail? I really wish you would have told me. But you know what? I don't want you to tell me. You know why? Because I don't want you to listen anymore. It's nice to know we have psychologists listening, Terry, but this one's not allowed to listen because she's such a failure. She's obviously such a failure in life that I don't want her rubbing off on any of us or even any of the audience members. And that's what happens when the wrong people listen, Terry. When the wrong losers listen out there, like Gail, they can rub off on the rest of the listeners, and then we could all become failures, and we don't need that, Gail. So do us all a favor and stop listening! And maybe she's just angry because she's a Gail who's not friends with Oprah. Maybe that's really
Ooh, yeah, that could be
the major issue that she's dealing with. A second fiddle Gail. Never fun.
No.
Always comes back to Oprah.
Always.
Ever met a hot Gail?
It's been some time.
Yeah, I don't think I ever have.
Oprah's friend Gail isn't hot?
No.
Doesn't make the cut.
Sandra Oh, Gail, which one do you choose?
No, I'm going.
Geez,
Gail, I'm not looking back.
Okay.
But just for Gail.
Uh-huh.
And especially for Gail. Let me open up the phone lines. It is a Thursday morning, Terry, which means there's more than enough time to salvage any serious, in-depth relationship problems anyone may be experiencing out there. Free of charge.
Whoa, free.
And with 100% accuracy and a guarantee, if you will.
Sure.
Yes.
Why do you provide the Highlights magazine?
Oh, that's the best.
Well, maybe Gail can offer her own because no one's touching them.
Right.
That's why there's no charge. There's no magazines or anything like that, probably.
Easy to offer 100% guarantee when you're not charging anything, Terry. So, 1-866
money back.
663-T-MAN. That's a toll-free number for anybody out there in the Bay Area, anyone in the Seattle area, 1-866-663-T-MAN. Any relationship problems you may be having can be answered on this here program in just a matter of moments.
T-Man Show.
She was beautiful. She was young. She was innocent. She was the greatest piece of ass I've ever had, and I've had them all over the world.
Terry, the phone calls have lined up at 1-866-663-T-Man. I'm going to race through as many calls as I possibly can, but before we get rolling on that, give me one quick story that doesn't require much discussion at all. What do you have there?
Interesting little bit of news for you, T-Man. Cursive writing apparently is becoming a thing of the past.
Cursive writing?
Cursive writing.
Yes.
Because of all the texting and computers and everything is basically typed.
I understand.
So there's
no use for cursive writing in the generations that are coming about.
Yes.
Through the school systems. Last thing they want to learn is cursive writing. It's about as useful as hieroglyphics.
Yeah, pretty much.
Got it.
In fact, teachers are only spending about 10 minutes a day or less teaching their students handwriting.
And even during those 10 minutes, they're like, why am I even bothering?
I know, really. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
And then math. Why am I even bothering?
Wow.
And then paycheck.
Why am I even bothering?
1-866-663-T-MAN. Let's take them as they have come in this morning. Joe is calling from San Jose. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. How are you doing?
How are you doing, Joe?
I wanted to get some of that free advice, relationship-wise.
All right. What's your situation, Joe? Are you on speakerphone right now, or are you on the handset? What are you doing here?
I'm a hands-free.
You're on a hands-free? Can you pick up the, what do you call it, the thingy?
Yeah.
Yeah, the phone. The phone, yes.
The cell phone.
So we can hear you better?
Okay, is that better?
A little bit, yes. Go ahead now.
Okay. Yeah, I got married about 9 years ago.
Oh, yay.
Congratulations. I'm sure it's happy.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better, guys.
Jeez.
I got married 9 years ago and found out recently that my girlfriend is pregnant.
Oh. So where are you calling from, Usher? What was that now?
Okay.
Your girl on the side, what's your chick's name?
I'm sorry?
Your girl, the girlfriend you have on the side is pregnant?
Yeah, she's pregnant, yeah.
Yes.
It's a bummer.
Now, why are you already raising your hand, Terry? You already have a question for this guy? Isn't everything he said so far pretty much
Well,
self-explanatory?
I was just
What do you
wondering
have?
how long he's had the girl on the side.
Does it really matter? Will it make it better if he said
no,
7
it won't.
years?
I'm
Will it make it
just
better if he said a
curious.
week?
Oh, okay.
I'm just
Perfect.
curious.
Well, I'm just wondering what you want the answer to be. You have to have a rooting interest since you asked the question. What's your rooting interest? Are you hoping it's a week? Are you hoping it's 7 years? What are you rooting for?
I really wish I didn't even have to hear this call, quite honestly.
She wants to know after 9 years of marriage that her JD will have a certain amount of time with another woman.
Right. You would like to think that people that have been married 9 years in somewhat of a happy fashion, if you made it 9 years, there had to be a lot of happy days. You would think that person wouldn't need a girl on the side is what you're wondering here.
Right.
Joe, you already have made an enemy out of Terry Free. I don't know if you really care. You really shouldn't if you do.
Probably not.
How long have you had this girlfriend on the side?
Let's see, about 7 months.
And to be honest, if you can be perfectly honest with us, how many other girls on the side do you have?
This one's the only one.
But in the past 9 years, how many have you had?
In 9 years, how many times would you say you've cheated on your wife? How many different women have you cheated on your wife with? Try to be as honest as possible. Honesty could actually maybe bring on some better karma that you desperately need right now.
Yeah.
So use your honest side of your brain there. You're the smallest part because there's been a lot of dishonest days that you have put together, I'm sure. How many women have you cheated on your wife with in the 9 years?
To be honest with you, just one. This is the only one that I've hooked up with.
That's what happens when you run that risk.
And you were with her 7 months. So for 8 years, you were as faithful as a man can get in a marriage. That's what you want us to believe. And year number 9, couldn't go any longer.
Gotta have a girlfriend on the side.
Well,
Joe.
To comment on about yesterday's show, I kind of met her at a strip club.
Joe, I don't care if you met her at a whorehouse. I don't care if it was the most laid in your lap kind of situation in the world. I just find it hard to believe that a man who was able to muster up the ability to be faithful for 8 years, all of a sudden in year 9 trips over the hurdle. That's what you're telling us? That you were a faithful guy for usually the guys who are cheaters by, you can make it through maybe the first year and a half of marriage. If you're going to be the cheating guy, you usually can't get past the second or third year without cheating.
Right.
You don't just all of a sudden start cheating in year 9.
Right.
But Joe could be the exception.
Before I got married, that's a different story, but...
All right, whatever. So you're a big timer.
Regardless.
So you went to the strip club, and the stripper was like, what? What did she say to you that made it so obvious that she was ready to be taken down with no fuss, no muss?
You're no average Joe.
Stupid.
We just started talking, and one thing led to another, and we ended up dating. And
before I knew it, she was grinding on my lap.
Right.
I was telling her to stop. It was embarrassing me in front of everybody. Yes.
And then she asked for her 20 or whatever.
How did it lead to you and her having sex outside of the strip club?
I just one weekend I decided to go out and said, I was going to go out with some friends, and I met her at one of the clubs in the city, and it just happened. But now it's kind of taking it to another level. And
okay, so let's figure out how you tell your wife of 9 years that you knocked up the local stripper.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
that's a conversation
and
I'm
how
hoping
old
to
is your
avoid.
oldest child?
You can just not have sex with
Do
the
you have
stripper,
children,
please.
Joe?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I've got 3.
Yes. And
Wow.
4 now,
you've
right?
done a good job.
And Joe, when you decided to have sex with the stripper, what made you go the extra mile to say, who needs the condom?
Nah,
Right.
I'm good.
That'd probably be the alcohol there.
You got drunk on that night, and if you were in a more sober state, you would have protected yourself. That's what you want to believe.
Yeah, that's what I want to believe.
Well, he's a pretty risk-free guy then, Terry. Yes, normally he would be more level-thinking and would guard himself.
Really? Come on.
Pretty responsible guy, Terry. Give him, come on, the benefit of the doubt.
Got 3 kids, good dad.
Yes.
Sure.
So now, what do you believe is the most reasonable next move that you should be making in your life? Why do you think? And we'll decide whether you're right or not. First off, is the stripper really hot? Was she worth all this or what?
Worth it.
Yeah, no.
Because if she's really hot, then Terry, you really had no choice.
So she's going to make a good
What did she look like?
stepmom and a second wife.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry.
She won't be a stepmom. She'll be a mom.
Well, he's got 3 other
Yeah,
children.
3 other kids.
Well, he doesn't want to marry her. He just wants to knock her up.
Joe.
But maybe the stripper's asking for more.
Terry's saying when his wife leaves him, he'll have no other option and nowhere else to turn but to the stripper who's going to be dying to marry him.
But you never know. Maybe that's what she wants.
All right, I'm not saying that.
That's always an option.
Do you take
Did you not go to the strip clubs for the first 8 years of your marriage and it was something new to you? You'd been going all along and finally there was a stripper that responded to you in such a big time way that she was wanting to go out with you and was ready to have sex with you and all that.
Well, I mean, I went to the strip clubs on a regular. I just never really told my wife where I was going.
You went to strip clubs on a regular basis all throughout your marriage.
Yeah.
And then finally you bumped into stripper extraordinaire who not only wanted you to be her client in the club, she wanted to be your pseudo-girlfriend.
Pseudo-girlfriend.
Outside of the stripping establishment.
Right.
That's a pretty big-time situation to put together there for Joe Terry.
Yeah, I guess so.
It'd be tough to say no, for sure.
Before you know it, you're all caught up in the emotion of finally having a stripper break the rules, the code of conduct that strippers usually abide by, Terry. And
they really abide by.
You want to test her and see how far she'll really go, and you don't believe it's really happening until, I finished. Okay. And then you all of a sudden start realizing the consequences. I could see how this could happen to any guy.
Okay.
It's a horrible trap.
It's tough to be a guy sometimes.
How is she real young? Has she been a stripper for a number of years, or is it just?
Well, she told me she started when she was 20, and she's 24 now. So.
And your wife knows not a thing that's going on right now in your mind and your world.
Nope, I have no idea.
And your question to us is the best way to deal with the situation with your wife and how to handle it and the best approach to take. Is that right?
Yes.
All right, well, what do you have in mind? And we'll figure out whether it's going to be functional or not.
Well, I really don't know what to do. I mean, I don't know what to tell her.
Well, what do you want to have, best case scenario, happen? Do you want this stripper to go away? If you could, wave the Joe magic wand and
he waved it.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and he made magic.
Would you wish you could turn back time and unpregnate this woman, or if you could have the best case scenario, or do you want to leave your wife and delicately let her down and start a life with this stripper? And you got kids to think about.
Yeah.
In both scenarios. So I'm asking you, what is the best case scenario for Joe right now? What do you most want?
I would wave a magic wand and make it all go away.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think, that's not going to happen because she said
poor bastard, Terry.
So.
Yeah, but when you wave the magic wand and make it all go away, then that great feeling you had with the stripper of how great the sex was also is erased from your memory. Is it still worth it? No.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Well, how long?
He said no.
Is there a chance the stripper won't tell and you can just cut checks to her once a month or whatever?
Do you have the ability to cut checks? Are you a cut check worthy as far as your lofty bank account kind of guy?
Well, she says that as long as that she doesn't need anything from me.
She doesn't need anything from you? She doesn't want any money from you? She doesn't want any responsibility from you towards this child or her?
Whoa. Looks like I'm calling T-Mobile to change the number. Perfect.
The thing is that, she makes good money. She says that, she doesn't need anything from me. But, that's when she's in a good mood. I don't know how the thing's going to turn out if I decide to stay.
I don't know how the stripper that takes out her clients, Terry, the stripper that is willing to break those rules is the stripper that makes good money. The stripper that really makes good money is the law-abiding stripper as far as the code of conduct that the strippers typically abide by.
Well, that kind of makes sense.
The stripper that lets her guard down and meets the guy who came to the strip club earlier in the week at the club on Friday night is not the stripper that's making big-time bucks.
Well,
she's probably doing all right.
Right, but the other thing, too, is she's not going to be making any money once she starts showing and everything, so how's that? Does she have a lot in savings?
You'd be surprised, Terry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that love that.
Stop it.
Yes, grind on me, little baby. And,
love me, baby.
Yeah. No, isn't that something you have to consider? What happens when she goes on maternity leave or she has the baby? She's not making any money, so where's she going to get it?
I'm not convinced that she made a ton of money anyway, because I'm telling you, the strippers that make the biggest time money are like machines. They're just robotic in there, and they would never dream of even, I don't care how hot the client is, of meeting them out somewhere.
That makes perfect sense because they want the money to keep coming in.
I hate those robots.
Why would
they think they're so cool.
That's right.
Why would they sacrifice an income?
so they blow hot air in your package. Big deal. Yeah, whatever.
Oh, you guys.
Jeez.
Back to you, Joe. All right, so Joe would like to keep his marriage intact. Is that right? You would like to live happily ever after with your wife and try to brush off this stripper who you knocked up as much as possible. Is that right?
Yeah.
Man.
What?
How can he go about this without his wife ever finding out, Terry? I don't feel confident that even if she's saying it now, the reality is going to be that this stripper of yours is never going to want anything from you.
Oh, yeah,
so you better be prepared to have a nice set of funds put aside to funnel to her at certain portions of time. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to try to get to the grave, that's the goal, Terry, to get to the grave without your wife ever finding out about this, you better have a nice little fund, a little mutual fund set up for this woman so when she comes to you without any warning, you're ready to write something as far as a check to get her to be shooed away. You know what I'm saying?
And you're okay being a father already of 3 to have another child out there without having any contact
that would
whatsoever.
be tough, I would think.
Oh, I don't know.
If
you're cool with that.
Joe, if you're lucky, hopefully your wife will divorce you for other reasons and you'll get off the hook.
Just be a bastard the rest of your life.
You'll never realize the bastard that you truly were. Now, is there any way to get your wife to divorce you for something less serious? So at least you can stay as a good person in her mind while she's divorcing you.
That's the goal.
Just gain some weight.
You're not
a job.
Yeah, you're not a big enough loser. You don't smell bad enough for your wife to want to divorce you anyway?
No.
Well, start becoming one.
Okay.
So you do want to get divorced, but you don't know how to.
I don't think he knows what he wants.
No, it's a tough situation.
Well,
do you know what you want, Joe? Do you want your marriage to stay as solid as it always has been?
You know, I would want to keep it together for my kids. You know.
So you're just doing it for your kids. You want to stay as a 2-parent home for your kids, and if it wasn't for the kids, you would have been gone for who knows how long now.
You wanted it more than I did.
All 3 of them.
So he wants to go through the motions of a husband, Terry, because it's his duty as a dad. Well, you have another responsibility on the way now, Joe, as far as being a father figure. Do you have any concerns there or no?
No, I mean, I'm a good father to my kids. That's not an issue.
What about this 4th child on the way? Strippers' children don't count?
Well, you know, I just found out about it. It really hasn't sunk in yet, you know, so...
It hasn't sunk in.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, baby Lexus.
I don't know.
Well, it doesn't sound like you're as in love as the most happily married man in the world is, Joe. So with that in mind, my advice to you is find a way to get your wife to divorce you. That is going to spare you the process of having to tell her what you did. And then you can deal with both sides, both ladies, in a responsible way without having a commitment to either one. Isn't that lovely, Terry? Isn't that great advice?
Think of all the checks he'll be writing each month.
Would you rather him living a charade, Terry? Would you rather have him living lies?
You know what? He gets what he deserves because he did it in the first place. So, I mean, I don't feel bad for him.
And you might want to get Montel Williams to give you a paternity test while you're at it, too.
Right. Okay. I mean, that's the other question I was going to ask.
Just to find out where you stand there. Just to be 100% sure you're not being taken for a ride by some woman who sees you as probably the most lucrative client she has.
Yeah, that's the #1 thing you do is you get a
that was a waste of money.
Test. Well, it won't be. The other thing, too, is...
Chances are it is his. A guy knows when it's his.
Well, does she have any other children? The stripper?
Does she have any other children? No.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so you're...
So this is going to be an emotional situation for her, Joe. Look what you've done here, Joe. You've dug yourself quite the hole here, Joe. Are you aware of this, Joe?
Yes,
And you're trying to you're trying to ask us about some magical way to get you free and clear. There's no possibility of that, Joe.
So you're pretty sure your wife will leave you if you tell her?
Yeah, she would.
Not only will she leave him, but she'll be feeding the children with all this
the
stream
truth about
of information.
About the dad?
Truth or not, Terry, it's going to damage the children, which is why my advice, even though it sounds callous, even though it sounds ridiculous, get your wife to want to divorce you for another reason.
In the next year.
Because you don't really like her anyway, it sounds like, Joe.
Yeah.
And you're not doing your kids or her any favors by sticking around.
No kidding.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe you can catch your wife cheating. Maybe she's been cheating too.
So there was the stripper.
So there you go.
Oh, man.
That's what you can hope for.
Set your wife up in a situation where she may cheat on you.
Okay.
If you set up some bait for your wife, would she take it or not?
I don't think she would, no.
If the UPS guy showed up, a really big, strapping, hot-ass UPS guy showed up at your door, oops, wrong address, sorry, ma'am. Can I have a glass of iced tea, though? Is your wife straddling him or not?
No, she's a good person. She wouldn't do that.
Are you so sure, Joe?
Well, I'm not 100% positive, but...
Right.
You know,
is that way you can leave her and make her feel like she's a despicable idiot?
Oh, jeez. See, there you go. Promoting him not taking any responsibility for his sleazy, dirty actions.
He knows who he is. He knows what he's done.
Then if he knows, then he should step up and say, you know what? I did you wrong. I have to take responsibility, and I know you're going to divorce me, so let's roll out of here.
Absolutely no good that can come from that. No good that can come from that, so...
That'll ruin your weekend.
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
And you're an upright individual, maybe.
Well, at least he's got his stripper girlfriend to go to.
Being an upstanding individual, way overrated. Joe?
Yes.
Find a way to get her to be the one to have to leave you, or you finding something in her that's the cause of you having no choice but to leave her.
Okay.
All right?
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Get back to us, Joe. Yes. Another man whose life is in absolute shambles, Terry.
Yeah.
Just reattached at the seam right here before our very ears.
Woo!
Mm-hmm.
Man, nice job.
Yes.
I dread telling my wife the toilet's clogged. Can't imagine having this conversation. Just when I thought I had it bad.
She's like, she just turns to you and is like, well, it's Thursday. What do you expect?
Yeah. Stay out of there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for you.
1-866-663-T-Man. Joe, married man for 9 years, Terry. But was he ever really married is the question.
No. So really he wasn't cheating if he really wasn't married.
That's a great point, Terry.
So therefore, hey, he did nothing wrong.
1-866-663-T-Man. And Leah from Bonnie Lake is on the line. Good morning, Leah.
Good morning.
How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. What we got from you? What can you tell us about there?
My boyfriend proposed to me a couple weeks ago.
Oh, congrats.
Oh, thank you.
Flash forward 9 years.
Yeah, I know. This is going to be you.
Yes.
Your boyfriend calling in.
It doesn't all turn out this way, you know, Leah. Some people actually have happy marriages.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
I don't know who the hell they are, but I've heard about them. Yeah, right.
Jeez.
Go ahead, Leah.
God, you guys are terrible.
Yes.
I kind of do have a little issue.
Mm-hmm.
My boyfriend, or fiance now, I should say, he...
What are you wearing?
Oh, jeez.
Excuse me?
What are you wearing, Leah?
Sweats and a sweatshirt.
Really?
Sorry to disappoint you.
No, you haven't disappointed me at all. I like that. Where are you headed? What are you doing?
I'm actually at home. I don't work today, so I have the morning off.
When do you work?
I work at Pacific Sunwear.
And what do you, you obviously are a sales kind of girl at a sunglasses little shop?
No,
there?
it's a clothing store.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
PacSun?
right. Yeah. I'm familiar with it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I kind of have a problem. It seems like everywhere we go, I seem to meet new people, new friends.
Damn!
And then I'm told that
It's got to stop.
he's had sexual relations with them.
Oh.
Oh, you're talking about your fiance? You bump into people that your fiance has screwed?
Girls.
Yes.
Is it your boyfriend or your fiance? What did you say?
She said she changed it to fiance because she accepted his proposal.
Yeah,
So they
are engaged.
All right.
I'm figuring out what I should do.
So what would you rather have? You'd rather have a boyfriend? You'd rather have a fiance that has no history whatsoever? You'd rather have a fiance that's never had sex and some weird-ass guy that you're prepared to marry that has no experience at all?
I don't think that's what she's saying.
He is good in bed, and the practice has helped.
Oh, jeez.
Obviously.
Yes.
But it does kind of bother me that he does...
Everywhere you turn, everywhere you go, you can't help but bump into some bitch that your boyfriend, your fiance has screwed.
Bothers her that he was a male
Pretty
hoe,
much.
okay?
Come on.
Pretty much.
I mean, are you exaggerating the story? How many girls would you say that you've run into that are so ready to tell you about how they screwed your fiance? First of all...
Actually, no. It's actually not them. It's him who says it.
He loves to go out of his way talking about, hey, see that girl over there? Yep, did her too. He loves pointing out.
How he'll say it. That is actually how he'll say it.
Do you go up to these girls and verify that he's actually telling the truth? Hey, excuse me. My boyfriend just claimed that he did you in the anal canal.
Whoa.
Could you verify this for me, or am I about to marry a big liar?
Right.
Have you ever thought about doing that? I mean, why would a guy be so interested, be so giddy about telling his fiancée about all the girls all over the city, the state, the world that he's had sex with?
He's got
I actually don't know, but I mean, there's been 14 girls in the last year.
That he went out of his way to point out to you without you picking up on anything that...
Well, no, I knew about a couple, but there's like one situation where he actually told me about his ex-girlfriend and her mom.
Is this an esteem issue this fiancé of hers has, that he has to go out of his way again, Terry?
Sounds like a little bit, yeah.
To
maybe
point out, yeah, it did her too.
Right.
You're marrying what a stud you're getting here, baby.
I'm a real catch. Watch out, because if you screw up, look at all the women I can
Ladies couldn't lay their hands off me back in the day. I hope you realize how fortunate you are that I'm the one. You're the one I chose to make a life happen with. Is that what he's getting at here? What's his whole motive behind doing all this?
I wouldn't know.
Who are you marrying?
I have a quick question. When he points out the girls or wherever you guys are, do they like recognize him and go, "Hey, so and so, how you doing?" And then it's a sidebar type of comment where he goes, "Oh yeah, I did her too," or is it just like from a distance?
Well, no. He'll like point it out from a distance. You know, there are a couple of them that I do know that I'm friends with.
But the sex with him is good enough to indicate that he does have what you would believe to be a lot of experience.
Yes.
How is he doing you that gives you the indication that he must have learned this from some girl, or at least through his unbelievable extensive sexual travels? Give us some examples of what he's doing. Let me get my notepad. What has he done to you recently that you said, wow, where did he learn that? I wonder who taught him that one.
Well, he can get me off. That's a start.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of women out there that, unfortunately, Terry, unlike her, have sexual intercourse all the time and have yet to get off at any point in their lives.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. I actually thought I was going to be one of them until him.
Really? So you had had a lot of sex with different guys up to this guy, and you had started to come to the conclusion that climaxes and you would never be a linked kind of situation.
Well, it didn't take a lot of people. Just
how many guys have you had sex with before this guy?
4.
And none of them came close to doing anything for you of any real major magnitude?
Nope.
Wow. You better marry this guy.
Oh, stop.
Well, I do love him. That's why I'm marrying him. But I just want to know, like, what I can do. It bothers me that, you know, I can't go out in public without seeing faces of these other girls. I'm sorry.
You think people would know that?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, that's,
really
that's the impression I get. You know, that's what they're thinking in their head.
So the world is a minefield of women that your boyfriend has had sex with.
But wait
and
a
you're
minute.
sick of tripping up on these landmines of the women out there that just remind you what a slays your fiance really is. Is that what you're thinking, or what?
Well, I just think he's a...
It sounds like he's more the problem. He's the one who's setting off all these bombs. It's not like you're running into women that you would figure this out on your own. Tell him to shut up.
No, I have. I was like, I don't want to hear this. Do you want me to point out, you know, the guys that, you know,
You've only had 4.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, but it's an
Related to
insecurity
2 of them,
issue
so
for
it's
him,
really
and it's I mean, not only insecurity, but it's a maturity issue as well.
Yes.
I mean, he's obviously insecure about.
And he gets off on how much it bothers you, Terry.
Right, he does.
And I get off on how much it bothers her too, Terry.
Well, but
it's
the
just
thing
really
is that,
pathetic that it bothers her so much. I mean, what does she want?
Well, but I mean, it would bother me, even though I feel that I'm a pretty secure one, because you don't need to. So what?
Unnecessary.
It's unnecessary, right?
Have you ever told him that this bothers you and to shut up, or no?
Yeah, quite a few times.
And does he understand that you're being serious and that this is bothering you to such an extent that you've called us on this?
Yeah, well,
What's his name?
his name's Brandon.
Well, Brandon. Oh, you did him, Terry.
Oh, that's right. I did.
I don't even know where to begin.
Another landmine. Terry Frias done your boyfriend.
Call Heather Mills.
you guys-
Oh, Tasty David did it.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
you guys live too, I'm assuming, in a really small area. You're calling where, from a small area, small
Calling
city?
from Bonnie Lake, Terry.
So that's not, so did you guys, have you guys moved out of that area? Maybe that's the key, too.
No, he lives in Milton right now.
Terry knows the remedy to this, and that is move.
When you grow up with the same people or are, small areas.
Have you ever considered moving into a bigger, more cosmopolitan city than Bonnie Lake?
Well, the problem is we can leave the city and I'll still meet girls.
Whatever. If you moved out of the state,
Come
you're not
on.
meeting girls.
Yeah.
He's just making
Yeah, well, if we moved out of state, yeah.
All right.
But, we've gone to Eastern Washington and
Oh, now he's really out of control.
Something tells me this is a problem you can learn to live with, all right? Either that, or if it bothers you that much, then find a new boyfriend. What can I tell you, all right? This isn't bothering you that much that you want to find a new boyfriend, so learn to live with it. All right, honey?
All right.
All right.
Oh.
Yes, the search function's down. That's why I didn't ask.
Oh.
Search function on MySpace is down?
Whoa.
Yes.
How kind of crap is that?
Well, see, that's what happened.
I have to
Google.
leave.
All right, show's over. Yeah, we're out of here. No point in this. 1-866-663-T-Man. What kind of whining is that, Terry?
Well,
Shut up!
and I doubt he's really done as many as he claims.
not at all.
by
He
the
knows it
way.
gets to her.
He does.
And the
Oh, yeah, I
reality
get
is,
her.
she keeps repeating it because probably deep inside she gets off on it.
Oh, yeah.
Did you do it like this?
How can you stop telling me who you did all over? If he ever stops, she'll probably miss it and request it.
Oh, yeah, please tell me that you did.
That's
50 minutes.
right.
Maybe he's not that experienced. What do I do now?
Oh.
1-866-663-T-Man. Back after these words.
T-Man.
All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one.
The Martin family is upset because their neighbor, Debbie McCallum, locked up their cat, Turbo, and turned it over to Edmunds Animal Control. McCallum says she was protecting her property by trapping the cat.
Right.
Now this controversy over Turbo has turned into a feline fight between the neighbors.
Turbo the cat terrier is causing all kinds of neighbor wars in a certain neighborhood near whoever. I don't know what the hell's going on out there, but people are fighting over the family pet.
It's a cool name for a cat.
People are ready to kill each other over Turbo the cat.
Wow.
It's not humane. It's mean and it's ugly and it's an awful way to catch a cat.
And the cats come over here, spray our front door, use our garden for their latrine, and kill birds all over our property. We find carnage everywhere.
Wow.
This little tabby has created...
Why do I doubt that? Why do I doubt that there's dead birds all over her property?
Freddy Krueger was in my yard.
What the hell, man? Like, there's a million birds just showering her lawn with their carnage.
I doubt she's saying a million, but,
All right.
a couple, whatever.
Enough to find carnage everywhere.
This little tabby has created a rift between the neighbors, reminiscent of the old Hatfield and McCoy's feud.
All right, easy, dude. Everyone's blowing this a little bit out of proportion. But what's your take on the neighbor wars revolving around the family pet? This person's cat gets out of the house, and a lot of these cats are outdoor cats. They need to go outside, Terry. That's their life. That's their livelihood. They don't want to stay cooped up in the house.
But see,
they want to explore the world.
And get into mischief and do the kind of things that get on people's nerves like that. I don't want cat poop in my yard.
Wow.
I don't need that.
Wow, so I can see, obviously, you have a strong take on this. This is striking a chord in your being. I don't see what the big deal is, but Terry Free is saying, ladies and gentlemen, that you got to keep tabs on your pussy.
You do. I think it's careless.
You can't let it just run wild.
Right. I think it's careless.
Wild pussy.
And you are angered when you see what? I have a neighbor's cat, and you know what? I get excited when the neighbor's cat is walking around my yard because I feel like if there's any rats or any mice or any kind of creatures that may not belong around there, the cat's going to take care of it. Bring on the puss!
Until Jaden's holding up the dead rat.
Yeah, or until he's, holding up the cat poop and gone, trying to eat it.
Oh, are you kidding? This cat and most cats are so meticulous with their poop. If only humans took such pride in their poop. This cat will spend a half hour doing his business and then burying it just so perfectly that you would never even know it was part of the earth.
In your yard.
Fine. It's so
God,
deep.
ugh.
If only Grandpa was buried that deep, Terry. This cat is so, I'm telling you,
Cats don't go in grass, though. They go in
He
sand.
goes on the sand, then he buries
Not
it.
always,
He
not
spends-
every single cat.
He spends 20 minutes, he spends 10 minutes finding just the right spot. And then 20 minutes burying it so that no person could ever trudge onto that poop at any point in their life.
That's so not true.
If
Because
only.
it's not like it's a 6 foot,
As I said, if
hole.
only human beings were that careful about their own droppings, the world would be a better place.
Well, if the owners would be that careful knowing where their cat is.
So
and-
this neighbor set up a steel trap
Yeah,
or
like a
some
metal
kind of contraption
trap,
that kept the cat against its will, and then they kidnapped the cat for like a day or so. And
Well, it sent it away to animal control.
Well, there you go.
Didn't even tell him.
So.
I hope if Terry's kid wanders into my yard, I get to put him in a metal trap and hold him for a month.
Well, a cat and a person are two different
Well, you
things.
should be more careful.
Well, and so should the cat owner. So there be it.
Your
Yep.
kid, after he poops, is not burying it as deep as the cat.
Well, there you go.
Turbo got out of the house September 13th. The family spent the day and night looking for him. All the while, their cat was only 2 houses away.
Turbo!
Oh, wow.
Where are you, Turbo? Draw the blinds. Where are you, Turbo?
Draw the blinds.
Poor
They
cat
didn't,
owner.
First of all, they didn't kill it. They took it to. They took it to.
Kill it. Oh, good for them.
There wasn't roast cat on the
No.
menu at the neighbor's house that night?
And the thing is that there's plenty of, I'm sure kids running wild like they do.
I'm gonna catch one in my yard,
and,
put it in the
and
trap.
and they're
Well,
more
I
than
happen to
happy
agree
to string up a cat.
I happen to agree with Terry's point that kids and cats are a whole different
I
scenario.
don't want him on my property. I'm not a kid guy. Out
So
of here.
all you have to do
Trap.
is say to the kid, "Stay out of my property,
Here's some
stay
candy.
off of
Here's
it,"
some
and
candy.
there you go.
He shoots a pellet gun at his head. That's nice.
Yeah.
So I love how you love to compare humans and animals.
Well, I don't want you hurting my. I'd hope that if I make a mistake and my dog gets out, you don't just take it away from me.
Well, but this is more than a
This
mistake.
is more than once.
yeah.
It's a constant problem for these
According
people.
to her.
If you,
But this
well,
is the cat's
according to
lifestyle, and it's only a cat. If you see a cat in your yard, all you have to say to yourself is, "Oh, there's a cat." And then you move on with your life.
Well, but if the cat is doing what it's
Not a
doing,
lion.
and
Cats are not causing any major
Well,
destruction. And you know what? The
is.
little tomatoes you're growing in your backyard aren't so great. All right? If the cat destroys 4 of your 10 tomatoes, something tells me you can move on with your life.
well, it's irritating enough, and it's my property, so keep your cat off my property.
Well,
allergic to cats or something, maybe.
Then what about going to the neighbor and telling him just that? Saying, listen, if your cat comes in my yard one more time, I'm going to do exactly what this person went on to do. And give him a little warning as opposed to just doing it and having the neighbors spend the whole night yodeling for the cat and wondering where the hell it is.
Well, that's wrong. They should have. If they didn't talk to the neighbors first, then that's not right.
Yeah, we don't know how many times if
Nothing
they
more-
have or
You would
not.
think they would have had to.
Nothing
before
more
doing this.
irritating than the neighbor that's yodeling.
Hatfield and McCoy's feud.
Right.
Turbo got out of the house September 13th. The family spent the day and night looking for him. All the while, their cat was only 2 houses away.
Apparently the neighbors could hear me calling and didn't release him despite my calling for him.
Turbo wandered his way into this trap in McCallum's garden. She says she put up the trap because she was tired of the Martin's cats eating her quail. She says Edmonds animal control officers told her it was legal to use it.
There you
McCallum
go.
doesn't deny holding the cat against its will.
I was not going to take it back because if I did, it would have been so easy that the next day this cat would have been out again.
Oh, listen to the sound of this wench. Do you really need to be living next door to this lady? Does anyone in the world want to live next door to this?
There's plenty of neighbors that
quails in their
can't
yard?
stand anybody. You know what I mean? But still,
What
it's
so
your
quails
own
are bad.
yard. It's your own property.
A quail is not a vegetable or a fruit that she's growing. It's a duck, right?
It's a wild bird.
So in her garden, she's got birds swimming around in some little
like it.
People have birds as pets.
Right.
Quail?
Well,
Why
I'm
not?
gonna pet coyote.
Heaven forbid that quail goes.
Pet coyote.
Heaven forbid that quail goes for any kind of flight. Oh,
right.
I don't think quails fly, though, do they?
Yes.
A little bit.
Oh,
yeah.
they do?
A little bit.
Well, I have an African Inspire blow dart gun that I use for any 2-year-old that walks into my yard. Takes a dart right to the neck.
Oh, there you go. So be it. That's your right. You're protecting your yard.
That's right.
So?
1-866-663-T-Man. Alex is calling in to respond on this issue. Yes, Alex.
Hey, T-Man,
How are you, sir?
I know. Watch out, Ben.
I just had a quick comment. Pretty much, we bought a new house, and all the other houses around here have cats living in them. And, I mean, every time I go to mow the lawn, there's just cat, leftovers all over the place, and they don't bury anything. It's always on top.
Maybe I live next door to a special cat then, because I'm telling you, I watch him. I take great interest in watching his whole detailed little ritual of pooping and then burying it. It makes for quite the entertaining afternoon.
Geez, is that your break from the internet?
Yeah. Does
he borrow the plunger?
Cat's in.
I don't have to break from the internet to watch it, too.
Oh, okay.
Does he use matches or anything?
But your neighbor's cats leave it and don't do any kind of cover-up situation like my neighbor's cat does. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's all over the place.
I mean, you move into a neighborhood, you move into a cul-de-sac, you move into some little suburb, you pretty much sign up for the fact that they're going to be neighbors with pets.
Okay.
And you have a right to chase them away if you want, but I don't know if it really, even though it's within the letter of the law, to trap them in some contraption and then hold them against their will for a certain period of time and send them off to whoever you send them off to without even informing the neighbor that you did so.
Well, then the next time it's laying there in my driveway, I'll just run over it. Because, hey, better than notifying animal control.
You better make it look like an accident. Because if I'm the neighbor and it's my pet, and I don't have any pets right now, but the day will come where I probably have pets again.
Well, according to Hotshot, you do, and he's almost 2, and he's a toddler.
Well, I'll tell you this. If I see you purposely running over my dog or cat, you better run.
Well, keep it in your yard.
Alex, anything else to add?
Get a dog.
Get a dog.
Jeanette is calling in. Yes, Jeanette.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
What do you got?
I just wanted. Terry sounds. I usually agree with Terry on things, but she sounds kind of like a spoiled East Side resident.
Well, but you know what? The funny thing is that I like cats, but I just think that pet owners should be responsible.
You hate cats. You hate people.
I think they should be responsible. That's all I'm saying.
With the accumulation of wealth in Terry's life, she's become very less tolerant of other people and their little ways of life.
That's so not true.
So if a cat can get over her moat, then so be it.
I know.
Kill the cat.
Yeah.
Yes.
People have had cats for the cat. You don't train cats to stay in yards. I don't think you can. My mom and my parents just started having a really nice yard, and she bitches about the squirrels and stuff that come in her yard, but she's not going to sit there and lay out traps waiting for them. And
it's only because the cat belongs to someone that you hold it against the cat. The squirrels that run through your yard, you're not trapping them. They're leaving droppings. The moles that run through your garden,
moles,
you shoot them.
See,
well, you can call people to get rid of the moles, and people do.
All right.
Okay.
Anyway, I just
not like you go buy a mole and try and make it a pet.
Don't be so sure. If you shoot my pet mole, Terry, you better run.
Yeah, Harris Francis better look out.
All I'm saying.
The T-Man.
Where do they teach you to talk like this? In some Panama City sailor want a hump bar? Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
Why don't you give me one final story, Terry, then I'm going to hit all the calls I can get to and see where that goes. What do you have there, baby?
A
lot of the text pages seem a little angry with you, Terry, but go ahead. Yes, I won't get to that just yet. Yes.
Out of Elk Grove, California, it seems that drug dealers are apparently turning suburban California homes into pot houses.
Oh.
Yeah, going into the neighborhoods there.
Like a nice residential little rambler, a little...
home,
little 2-story house, 3-bedroom home, and blacken the windows and churn it out, baby.
Yep. Pulling blinds and turn on lamps.
What would you rather have, your local drug dealer as a neighbor or a cat that roams through your yard?
Drug dealer for 100. Jack?
Oh,
really?
Yeah, whatever.
I'm just kidding.
Jack. Jack is her favorite game show host.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know as well. I've known a lot of game show hosts. Tons. You can't think of any named Jack.
None.
Last name Hole.
Wow. So that's the trend.
Apparently so, yeah.
Sure, the return on their investment is quite high, even though they're plopping down. They're plunking down some serious dollars for a nice suburban home that blends in with all the other nice, very innocent-looking suburban homes.
Right.
You don't got to furnish it.
That's right.
Save a little money there.
1-866-663-T-Man. And Cater, is that your name? Cater from Oakland? Cater, are you there? Oh, Cater, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
How are you, Cater?
All right.
You're from Oakland?
Yeah.
And that's how you pronounce your name, Cater? C-A-D-E-R?
It's Cater.
Cater.
Yeah, K-A-D-A.
Oh, Cater.
Yeah.
All right, what's up, Cater?
What's up with it?
It's a C-A-D-E-R, but that's all right.
Well, you know.
What can we do for you, sir? Cater.
Oh, man, well, you know what I'm saying? I'm having problems in my relationship. Me and my girl, we getting into arguments. It's all about the sex, though, you know?
You're arguing over sex?
Yeah.
All right, what's the problem that you argue about most commonly? What's the most high, intensified argument that you guys have? What's the subject matter of it?
Well, you know what I'm saying? I go longer than her now.
Oh, jeez.
You know, I'm outlasting her, and it's because she be feeling that pain, and I be like, okay, well, what you hurting for?
3 minutes in, she's like, I'm done, I'm out.
I know.
I've already gotten all I need, and she just, what, does she withdraw? Does she leave the room? Does she just lay there? What's your problem that you're getting all angry?
Yeah, she be pushing me out, you know what I mean?
Pushing you out.
Dang it.
Yeah.
She signed up for more than just a few minutes when she got involved with Cater, right?
Yeah, you know?
Yes, so...
A couple of hours, you feel me?
At least, maybe.
She's got to be willing to set aside a couple hours for Cater, Terry.
Yeah.
And she wants to get out after an hour and a half.
Jesus.
What the hell is that all about? And why? Because she's hurting a little bit?
Oh, jeez.
Walk it off.
Walk it
Rub
off.
a little dirt on it.
Put a little WD-40 on that. Get back to work.
Dirt on it. Yeah.
So are you a sizable man, Cater? Is that what we are to assume here or no?
Well, I mean, you know, with the doctor was like, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. You know, your man just too big.
So you're too big to
For her.
to navigate without any after effects that she doesn't.
Too big to have sex.
I'll tell you this.
Must be tough.
You called the right person, Cater, because I run support groups for fellas like yourself, and we're meeting Thursday at noon. Are you interested in showing up? We're having donuts and a lot of lively discussion. Are you interested in showing up to the support group of men that are with women that are like square pegs in a round hole, Terry? It's really more frustrating and more disappointing than you may think it would be.
All right.
Yes.
Too big to do it.
Well, maybe he needs to find a girlfriend that, you know, can handle it.
Cater can step up on Thursday at noon and say, hi, I'm Cater. I'm too big to do it. And everyone will tell.
Hi, Cater.
We love you, Cater.
Yeah.
Just not in that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Cater.
Hate to be his roommate in prison.
Terry, I think, suggested that you need to find a woman that can handle your situation with a little bit more, just overall ability. And I think if you're able to read through the lines like I am, that she's volunteering for the job.
Oh, yeah. I can take you and your brother.
Not the brother.
Terry can take you and your brother, Cater. Do you have a brother?
You guys are so wrong.
But your brother's a small little,
Jeez, you guys.
pathetic sighting.
Oh, man, I don't know nothing about his thing.
Oh, okay. You don't know your own brother? We talking about a biological brother? Or you don't know what every guy who has a brother knows how big his brother's dick is. Come on.
Really?
Yes.
I mean,
about that.
Stephen, do you know?
Stephen has a brother. You don't know how big or small? You don't know where he sizes up, Stephen?
I've never looked at his wiener, so I don't know.
Whatever.
That's all his business right there, you know.
Okay, you're just worried about your business. And, Terry, maybe you should take her advice. Maybe if it's just not compatible sexually, you may have to actually look out there and find someone that you can be more functional with on a sexual basis. Is that something you'd consider, or you're too much in love with this woman? I don't think... Because I'll be honest with you, Kate, I got a lot of women calling the lines now that want to get a hold of you.
Oh, man, they couldn't handle me, though.
Oh, no one.
Well, see, now, so now you run into a problem. Nobody can handle you, Cater.
Do you know Terry's nickname is the Wizard Sleeve? Cater, well, we hope you find a solution to your problem. Call us back if you don't, and we are happy that you called.
All right.
Take care, buddy. Too bad.
I guess so.
Yes. Where to go now? Amongst the people that are calling in for Cater is this guy.
Good morning.
Oh, man.
Yes,
I
Gay.
can handle Kata.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
I totally can handle Kata.
I don't know what gave you the impression that Kata was interested in any kind of gay antics.
Didn't matter.
Any homo hijinks? I didn't hear anything on his phone call that would indicate that. So why you are the atypical gay man who basically, at least verbally, forces himself upon heterosexual men is beyond me gay.
Yeah.
You know what? If I got a spot he can put it, I'm right there willing to volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez.
Talk about a hole that's lost its elasticity, Terry.
Yeah.
A gay phone operator, the man for the job.
Oh, gosh.
All right. Thank you very much for chiming in there, Gay.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah, right. We'll have a great gay day, yes.
Very good game.
Megan is calling from Newark. Where is Newark? What is that by?
By Fremont.
Okay, by Fremont.
Yes.
All right.
So I have a number of reasons why it is perfectly valid to take action against the menacing cat.
The menacing cat. The neighbor's
I'm
cat.
totally on Terry's side.
The neighbor's cat was a menacing cat. The neighbor's cat.
Well, I guess you're being pretentious then.
Yes, Terry not only wants to take matters into her own hands when it comes to the neighbor's cat, she wants to have cat adobo for dinner later this week.
And I will join her at the table.
I don't know if you're aware, but Terry Free, no coincidence here, is Filipino.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, makes sense now.
Of course.
Right.
All makes sense.
Sure does.
When you've had so many consecutive days of dog, you can only, I'm sure, deviate by turning to a cat as far as your main course.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm. Yes, go ahead, Megan. What's your situation? This happened to you on a personal level or what?
Yes. For about a year, we had a neighbor who had a cat who would almost every day come over and fight on my parents' boat tarp, you know, the cover for your boat.
Oh, wow.
And they'd fight on it, and those are like $700-800.
Let me just put it this way.
Every day he'd fight.
Expensive.
I'd
another
rather
cat.
have a neighbor with a cat than a neighbor that has to plant their boat in the front yard or the backyard looking like an eyesore with the tarp over it.
That probably looks
We have a
nice.
very sizely backyard, and it fit very well.
Right, I'm sure.
If it was an $800 tarp, it was pretty nice, by the way.
Yes.
Okay,
Sizely's not even a word.
so on the $800 tarp, the cat would fight who?
Other cats.
They would rip it up, and they would spray it with their piss.
Sounds
and it
like
would just,
backyard wrestling to me, Terry. Sounds like backyard wrestling at its finest. The cats would get together and have cat wrestling on the tarp there, ultimate fighting on the tarp. Sounds like entertainment to me. I'll take entertainment any place I can get it, Terry. And if
sounds
the
like
cats are fighting, physically fighting on that tarp every afternoon, well, I'm making myself some more of a Redenbacher, and I'm getting out there, and I'm setting up a little folding chair, and there it is.
If it's at the neighbor's house.
Right.
I don't think you'd like it if it was at your house.
And I don't think you'd really like it if you know, the cats were spraying. See, that's the other thing. Cat spray is
they
not
spray
fun. That's
everywhere.
just
What are they spraying? They're not skunks.
Cats spray when they're in heat.
Oh, whatever. So you get them out of heat quick. I'll take care of that for you,
Oh,
baby.
will ya?
Oh, boy.
Jeez.
Man, you're all so uppity. It's disgusting. And I'm not even a big animal guy. I'm not the hugest animal guy in the world. When it comes to people who are embracing the animal world, I'm somewhere middle to lower rung on that scale, Terry. But I have no problem with just identifying, oh, there's a cat in my yard. Big deal. Let the cat have his moments. He's an outdoor cat. That's their livelihood, Terry. A lot of cats just aren't built to be staying indoors. That's not who they are. You're going to cage up a cat that...
Cats become outdoor cats when...
It's not a learned situation for an outdoor cat. That's usually determined by who they came from in some regard, I would imagine. I'm not going to proclaim to be the most knowledgeable cat expert in the world. But outdoor cats, is that a learned experience, or is that something that is pretty much decided at birth?
Well, I think it's whatever the owner decides. If they
Right.
just throw them outside,
Exactly.
then it is a learned
It
experience.
is. If the owner wants to keep them outside, then the
But
owner...
the thing is, you want to punish the cat who's kind of innocent. You should punish the owner. Go punch him in the face if you're upset with his cat. Don't make the cat sit in a cage for a week.
Well, that's the point. That's the point. 3 boat tarps and 1 year later, and like 12 wardens to the neighbor. That's it.
So any cat can be taught to be an outdoor cat? There aren't just some
Any animal could. I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, that's where they all came from, was outdoors.
Yes, but aren't there some cats that just through the generations have become house cats?
Well, yeah, if you want to keep it in your house, then it learns to do that. I mean, just whatever you choose.
Right.
But what you're saying to me is it's a learned function.
Yes.
You can
Yes.
teach cats to be either one. They'll be
Yes.
just fine.
Yes.
Correct. All right, then I didn't know that.
Just like homosexuality.
Oh, jeez.
It's a choice.
Bikini Dave, good morning.
See?
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Yes, Bikini.
Stupid.
First, I hate cats, so I hope they all die.
Wow.
And, I just want to go ahead and throw that out before anybody takes any
May
guesses.
all the cats in the world die, according to what Bikini Dave's interests are. Okay.
That's right. I'm so serious.
All right.
Anyways, hey, that guy that called about the issue with his girlfriend, I'm not saying I know what that's like, but I know what he's talking about, and it's one of the most frustrating things in the world.
Right.
And so I joined that group, and my friend joins that group, and in trying to get some great advice there too.
Well, you are on the docket for speaking on Thursday at noon, so I hope you have put together quite the little speech to address.
I've got a packet. I've got a packet of papers. I've done some research.
Okay. Well, then you'll be doing your duty on Thursday.
I'm serious.
Terry, you can only imagine when I do my little 1-year-old's puzzles and I can't get the little piece into the little hole because it's a round square peg in a round hole. I get frustrated.
Sure.
I can only imagine what someone must be going through when that happens to them on a sexual level.
Right.
Hey, T, it's not so much that, but if they're just done after one little session there, I mean, really, what do? Do you break up with that person? Do you go find somebody else?
Wow.
Do you stick with them? Come on, let's hear it.
If the woman in your life can't keep up with you, I think she's left you no choice but to find others that can take care of your needs, and that wouldn't be considered a cheating situation.
And on
Well,
that
why don't you
note,
break up with her first
Any
and
woman,
then do it?
No. Any woman, because you love her, Terry. Any woman that can't keep up with a man, I mean, how pathetic is that? Any woman who can't outlast a man, I mean, how pathetic is that, Terry?
Believe it or not, there's women out there who don't necessarily like the whole
Thank you,
sex
Bikini
thing.
Dave, for answering the question. The answer we were all looking for is pretty pathetic. Pretty pathetic was the correct answer. Thank you, Bikini Dave.
Curious, T.
And now, because the answer is pretty pathetic, any woman that's pretty pathetic, does she deserve to be with a boyfriend that's faithful? Absolutely not.
Oh, jeez.
But that doesn't mean we necessarily want to break up with them.
Huh.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
T-Man, on that note,
Yes, Bikini Dave.
I'm feeling mighty single, so if there's any ladies out there, love to get a hold of you. Bye.
Bye. Sounded very masculine.
Yeah, very mad. He's a wrestler.
Darian. Good morning. Darian in Bellevue. Hello.
Well, what's up, T-Man?
What can we do for you, sir?
You know, I'm not a really big cat fan either, but I just want to ask Terry, what the hell is wrong with her?
Oh, jeez.
All I'm saying is I just want the
how
owners to be responsible. That's all.
How you going to bag over somebody's poor little innocent cat? I mean, you can't train cats like dogs. I mean, they're going to run around, you know, but they're harmless. You know what I mean? I can understand if it was biting people, but it's not.
Cats aren't running around biting people, Terry.
Well, it's killing her animals, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It is
Animal,
doing
stupid
harm
little
to
quail.
her.
I mean, please.
Well,
It's
you say
doing
now you're
harm
putting
into
value
her
judgment on
property.
animals.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyone who has quail in their backyard.
Darian, you're not listening. It's causing
you're-
harm to her property. So everybody has the right to protect their own property, right?
Terry, you just want some teriyaki. You just want some teriyaki cat.
Wow.
That's it. You know, if you're hungry, you can come over to my house.
Oh, jeez. Wow. That's quite the offer, Terry. You gonna
That was a
accept
nice line, Darian. I think it worked.
Wow.
What's your number?
You going to accept his offer or no?
Jeez.
You move into a neighborhood, you have to acknowledge that there are going to be neighbors' pets running around. If you don't want that, then move where Kilbreth moved, where there's nobody within a country mile.
Now, there's animals in our yard all the time.
Yeah, but those aren't neighbors'
They're
pets.
wild
Those
animals.
are wild animals. You don't go trapping them and taking all your frustration out on them, only if there's an owner behind it. Do people get filled with frustration? How interesting. How interesting.
Well, if
I see a cat in my yard, I look at the bright side. I see the benefits. I say to myself, you know what? That cat can do my yard and my surrounding areas of my home some good, keeping all the little rodents out of there. Why can't we all look to the silver lining and be a positive person like the T-Man? Why? Trampled on your stupid property. Schmoperty! Fix it up! Deal with it or move on an island! Jen, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, Jen.
Yes.
You're on the air, Jen.
Oh, I am? Oh, okay, I have a comment
Would you
on
like
the
an
cat
engraved radio invitation to start speaking?
Oh, no, I had some, that wake and bake thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, No, a comment on the cats. I was just watching on the History Channel like a couple years ago.
Oh, man.
Stoners love the History Channel.
No, that cats, they were actually, by nature, they were wild, you know, but in Egypt, like the Egyptians and stuff, that's when they learned
domesticated
to domesticate them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like, I guess they were trained to be domesticated, and I think they should, be reversed and trained to be
I figure
wild
cats
again.
were similar to horses in that aspect. There are some that are bred to be certain types of horses, and there are some that are bred to be other types of horses. I figured there were some that were bred to be indoor cats, and some that are more apt to be street smart and able to defend themselves in the wild of the neighborhood. Apparently, the neighborhood has become the wild.
More dangerous.
Because you never know when you think you're about to take a little nibble out of a tomato, next thing you know, you're being sent down some chute to the animal control center. Hey, but you know what? The bottom line is, I don't really care.
I know.
I could care less what neighbors are doing. I love neighbor wars. The more people getting in fights, the better.
Yeah.
Anything in this world that provides me entertainment, I love. Seeing two neighbors ready to kill each other over a pet, beautiful. Let me know where to be this afternoon when one neighbor's about to kill another one over a pet. Sign me up. I got a lot of time on my hands during the day.
The T-Man Show.
This will be the high point of my day. It's all downhill from here.
Terry Frey, are you aware that Boo Bomb is in 2.5 weeks?
Wow.
Are you aware that I still have piles of tickets to Boo Bomb 2006?
Right. Yeah.
Are you also aware that tomorrow morning on this here program, because I've been giving away tickets to the people in the Bay Area for the past week and a half, and will continue to do so right up to the concert, I'm going to show the love to the people in the Northwest by giving away a flyaway trip tomorrow morning to Boo Bomb 2006. Somebody on tomorrow morning's program, through the game that is played all over the world called Dog Food Roulette,
Love it.
somebody is going to win a flyaway trip to Boo Bomb 2006. Now, Pasty, do we have all the contestants we need? Are we set on that? Do we need any more? What's the situation?
Hold on, I gotta eat.
I think we're going to be okay.
We got enough. How many? We only need 3. How many? I mean, we got a good solid 3 or what?
We definitely have 3 at this point.
You got more than 3, it sounds like.
We've got about 6 right now.
Oh, jeez. Now, are these 6 scheduled to come down?
Well,
we have to play a bonus round of Dog Food Roulette?
Bonus Food Roulette.
Oh, well, I don't even need to know. Just as long as you get me 3, I'll be happy. If there's any more, we'll deal with it, I guess.
Yeah.
Pacey will deal with it.
Now, you have to go out and buy the dog food. Because the way it's played, Terry, just so you know, in case you want to play it at home tonight, we set up 3 contestants.
Yeah.
They pick which bowl. They draw numbers as far as who chooses first, yada, yada, yada. They pick numbers, and the dog food is in one of the 3 bowls.
Correct.
The other 2 of the 3 bowls have Chef Boyardee, beefaroni, or ravioli. What are you going to get, Pasty? What's your favorite there? What are you shooting for here?
Big beefaroni. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the beefaroni.
Is that right?
Oh, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
What do you mean,
I'm more of a tortellini with cheese kind of guy. Okay, well, beefaroni it is then.
Yay, bring on the beef.
Yeah, oh, jeez. But you said that a couple times. Anyway, the person who finishes their bowl first is going to get a free trip, all expenses paid, to the Bay.
All right.
Airfare, hotel, everything taken care of to go see Boo Bomb 2006.
Very good.
But that's not till tomorrow. By the end of this show, which only has a matter of minutes left, why don't we give away another pair of tickets to someone in the Bay Area to go see Boo Bomb that may not have ordinarily been able to go.
All right.
Sound like a nice gesture?
It does.
I think it is.
Oh.
But, of course, all the lines right now are taken. So let me see if I can clear a line or 2. You've been waiting over a half hour, Alicia. What do you want to talk about? Real quick. I got about 10 seconds. Go.
Man, I wanted to talk about this girl I've been trying to, but you don't think you got enough time.
Well,
you want me to call back? And my boyfriend and I, we've been together for like 5 years, and I don't know.
You got
maybe
a girlfriend and a boyfriend.
Well, no,
I can make time for you.
I like to bring girlfriends in, but
You like to bring girlfriends into your relationship with your boyfriend.
Well, because we've been together for like 5 years,
And
you know.
gotta keep it fresh.
Yes.
You don't want stale sex.
No.
Well, and also because
stupid wee man that used to be the producer screwed me over on you getting me some gift certificate for boobs. He wanted me to beg him on the phone, and I cussed him out, so he hung up on me. I was so happy that the day you got rid of the wee man was the best day ever on radio.
Well, I can disagree with that. Anyway, if you'd like to come down tomorrow and be a last-minute contestant for Dog Food Roulette.
Hey, Chris, you want me to come down tomorrow and be a last contestant for Dog Food Roulette? Yeah.
Maybe it's right up your alley.
Dog Food Roulette, right in my
Put
alley.
it right up your alley. All right, hang on the line.
Beg for it, though.
Basically, talk to that lovely lady.
I'm going to need your bag.
Yeah.
Dirty bastard.
All right, let's see who the first caller that calls in now that we have an open line. I just cleared a line, Terry.
All right.
And the first caller that calls in from the Bay Area at 1-866-663-T-MAN is going to a bomb.
Nice.
And it looks like it's going to be this dude. Are you a dude?
Yeah.
And where are you calling from?
I'm calling from San Francisco.
And what is your name?
Jay.
Jay.
Hey, Jay.
Yes. How you guys doing?
Do you have tickets for the concert as of this moment, Jay?
No, I don't.
Why not, Jay?
Been busy at work.
So you didn't even try?
I did try. I get off real late at night with 16 hours.
Who doesn't, Jay? We're talking about the tickets to the concert, though.
Thank you, 10.com.
Jay.
Yes, sir.
Did you try to get tickets to Boo Bomb and got shut out? Did that happen, yes or no?
Yes, it has.
By what means did you try to get tickets to the concert and only finding out that you were not successful and you failed? What did you...
Well, with work, 16-hour shifts, and being broke at the same time with all these bills I got to pay for.
You don't have to pay for them. You can send them to me. But anyway,
Right,
yes.
you could.
Go ahead. How did you try? You tried through the internet? How did you try to get tickets?
Well, I don't have
He didn't
internet.
even try. He's lying.
Oh, Jay, don't lie.
Well, he tried by working so hard, but no extra money.
You tried mentally, but you never actually did anything physical?
Exactly. There you go.
So you meant well, but you never actually did anything to physically get yourself some tickets. He wanted to go, Terry.
He did.
But then he realized it was a lost cause and never really tried. Well, that's the thing about lost causes.
Yeah?
Sometimes, where there's a will, there's a... I forget the rest of it.
Jay.
Anyway.
There's a Jay.
Yes. And Jay,
Yes, sir.
you're going to Boom Bomb.
Right on, brother.
Yes.
Right on. Hey, Terry.
Yes.
Just wanted to let you know that adobo y'all cook is off the hook, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Terry doesn't cook it.
Wait till you get a hold of her lumpia. Now, Jay,
Yes, sir.
who are you taking with you to the big show on Monday the 30th?
Who am I taking with me?
Yeah, you get 2 tickets, Jay. That's the beauty of this, baby.
Probably my girlfriend.
Oh, jeez.
God, how many mama mice are there?
He gets a little nervous when talking about her because he doesn't want his wife to find out. Jay, what's her name?
Her name is Crystalline from San Leandro, California.
And she's going to be happy to know that she gets to go with Jay, or she's going to be like, well, I hate Jay, but I love the concert. What's the deal? She's going to be excited?
She'll probably be excited. Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice. It's nice.
Probably not.
Nice to make a happy couple that much happier, Terry.
Right on, brother.
Congratulations, Jay. You're going.
Right on, brother.
Hang on the line. Jay's excited.
Yeah, he is.
Jay's not the kind of guy to get overly excited about anything.
All right.
But that's as excited as Jay pretty much gets.
Well, that's
Jay's maxed out on excitement. And why shouldn't he be? So tomorrow morning, it's Dog Food Roulette for a fly away to the Bay Area.
good deal.
And while we're doing that, we'll also give away tickets to those in the Bay Area.
All right.
So nobody gets left out tomorrow.
All right.
Now, do we need big smocks to bring in tomorrow or something like that? I don't want to be hit with any dog food.
I think we're okay. They may.
Well, they need to bring their own smock.
Do we have enough blindfolds? They have to be blindfolded.
Yes,
Jerry.
they do.
They have to be blindfolded.
We should have enough.
And do we bound them with their
Yeah,
wrists?
they have to put their wrist behind them, right?
We do. I haven't played this game. We've only played this game like
Oh, no?
twice
That's
or
a little
once.
tough.
Have we only played this game once or twice?
Once, I
And
think.
I don't think we've played over the past 3 or 4 years.
Wrist behind their back is how you did it.
We did wrist behind the back, and they had
pretty sure of that.
No, there was like spoons in there.
It was face to the bowl.
Because you're a guy who likes people bound up.
That is very true.
But not guys for this. I don't think you bound them.
Well,
I remember eating a whole can of dog food, and I don't remember being bound.
And you put them in a burlap sack. You just wanted to do
That's
it,
a
though.
good point. I wasn't even in the game.
Well, there's been a lot of games like
Yeah,
that.
that
but
is true.
I don't know if it applies to Dog Food Roulette. Anyway, we'll make up the rules as we go, pretty much like everything else around here. So,
Good idea.
We'll decide at 7 a.m.
Yes, right. Dog Food Roulette tomorrow.
Yay!
Lord only knows how we'll play it.
Woo!
Good
to
go. Okay. Oh, sounds fun.
Can't wait.
maybe I'll be here.
The T-Man Show.
Why do you shamelessly waste my time like this?
I don't know.